Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to NinjaTrader Live. I'm Tracy Shuchart, senior economist, and here's what happened while we were away. Well, Salesforce has jumped the most in 6 years after the software company gave an outlook for strong revenue expansion and deepened its partnership with Anthropic, reassuring investors it can compete successfully in the AI era. Apocalypse is no more, I guess. Shares are up 21% today. Canada has added 50% tariffs on U.S.-made copper wire and wood charcoal to its retaliation list as a replacement for its removal of fish and seafood products, according to their Department of Finance. Prime Minister Carney's government is aiming to match its counter tariffs with a value of annual imports about $20 billion, impacted by President Trump's new 50% tariffs on Canadian goods. U.S. mortgage rates have rose for the first time in 3 weeks, further squeezing affordability as the housing market weakens. Did hear about that earlier this morning from Melody Wright. The average for a 30-year fixed loan increased to 6.66% from 6.65% a week earlier, and that's the weekly data that's out from Freddie Mac. NVIDIA says it's too big to fail. It says it is building an ecosystem that can't fail. Don't call it circular financing. NVIDIA does not see its efforts to prop up upstarts and bolster key AI players as questionable financial engineering. Phew. Yes, it's true that the beneficiaries of NVIDIA's muscular backstops and investments are also its own customers, but NVIDIA says it doesn't see the scale of its support as something worthy of suspicion. That's because the company says it's building an ecosystem with too many scenarios for NVIDIA to win. So there you go. I've never heard too big to fail before. Trump administration is in talks, he says, according to Axios, with Venezuela's interim government about taking ownership stake in the South American country's enormous oil resources. We do see oil service names up about 2.5% on this headline, whether it's true or not. Jackson Hole Conference has kicked off today. We do have Warsh speaking tomorrow, but on the sidelines of the event, we did hear from 3 Fed speakers. All were hawks. We had Schmid saying inflation is still stubborn and it's still sticky, and we've got to continue to find ways to break through and get back to 2%. We had Cleveland Fed's Beth Hammack also speaking on CNBC, was similarly anxious about inflation and reiterated her ongoing willingness to act to bring price pressures back in line. She said, "I don't want to prejudge anything, but I believe now is the time to act." So she seems like a yes for September. And then we also had Austin Goolsbee speaking. He said that his biggest fear in the short run continues to be that as inflation is not under control, everybody's going to be on edge. Goolsbee said, we hear a lot about affordability, and we better be mindful because inflation, if it starts going up again, it's going to be very hard to get rid of. So 3 very hawkish Fed speakers on the sidelines of Jackson Hole Conference today. Washington has confirmed that it is not in talks with Iran despite diplomatic efforts by other countries. We do have oil up on that headline. And then just about a half an hour ago, Trump officially signed an executive order effective immediately. Lake Ontario is now called Lake America. And with that, I will hand it to Jim for an Edge report.
All right. Thank you, Tracy. By the way, the too big to fail, I did chuckle out loud on that. I don't know if everybody here is old enough to get that one, but that was pretty good. Crude oil daily candle right now. We were talking about lower highs and higher lows in this consolidation pattern we're seeing since the war started. And we got a little bit of an update today. So we have the swing low back here on the 5th of August. And the making of a higher swing low. Now, two candles, does it make a swing low or not? We could argue that. But for now, I'm going to put it there anyway, my little arrow that's pointing up. We could always change it later if this turns out to be false, but it's kind of nice move up right now, kind of sneaking up on us again, right? Kind of sneaky, getting close to last month's close, 84.67. Moving averages are still going sideways, kind of moving parallel right now, not converging, diverging anymore after today's data point. So we'll keep an eye on that 8 and that 21 EMA right now, but we are above the 8, which is noteworthy, I think. So we'll see where it goes. Now, I did a really tiny inside fib from the lows that we saw here on the 5th, all the way to the recent highs that we saw on the 20th, and we kind of retraced nicely. Didn't quite get to the 61.8. That was at 79.32. We came close, didn't get it. And when we get these little kind of small retracements and I see a close below the 61.8%, then I start thinking, all right, maybe there is a trend change happened. Right now, trend is up, textbook retracement. We're driving back up to resume the trend at this point. I know it's very news driven market, crude oil, but that's where we're at right now. Intraday, we just had a huge breakout. This was, the IB high was in. We sold off of that high IB high, 83.14. Nice kind of retracement back down. Nothing to get excited about. Single break of the IB, and then all of a sudden we started grinding up. These are 30-minute candles. These aren't 5-minute candles. And then boom, we just had launch. This is the 2 o'clock candle. So something's afoot. We're really rocking right now. That 1-day max, we just wicked through it. Mentor Q, that was at 84.16. If this continues, where could we go? We got R2. Well, there's that previous month's close again, 84.67. May or not be an important milestone, but R2 is part of the daily pivot study. A lot of people follow that. So 85.30. And then above that, some other monthly and weekly benchmarks. So there are targets to the upside here on crude oil. On the downside, it doesn't look like we're going to have a downside. 0DT call resistance at $83 kind of remains key for me. We'll see if we do get that kind of casual retracement back down. But right now, there's a move afoot to the upside in crude oil. Let's take a look, though, at the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin market of the day, guys. It's the market of the day, or wheat. You could use either one of them, but we're going to go with the Bitcoin here. A pretty big dominant green candle brewing right now. I mean, we launched off of these lows back here in the middle of August, and we just didn't look back. This was a really nice move up. We had 3 days of kind of a stall or a rest, if you will, a pause, if you will, either price happiness or market uncertainty, you pick. And then boom, today we're off to the races again. 80,785 right now. The high was 81,315. So we did break, for the second time, we did break through that 81,000 level. And if you remember yesterday, we talked about this area of resistance being still resistance, which it is. Look to the left, everybody, and you'll see that 82,170-ish, give or take. That's going to be the start of that resistance. And if we break through there, there's more targets to the upside. Let's check it out. And we have a calendar year high. There it is. Calendar year high, 98,235. Remember, we still have an important milestone on September 15th with the cloture vote. Supposedly, we're going to have that in the Senate, which means no more moogie-foogie surrounding the Clarity Act. That means they have to act on it one way or the other. So that's positive because you need 60 votes for that, and it looks like they're going to get it. So a little bit of a bipartisan effort there on the Clarity Act. Hopefully, they'll resolve their issues. Intraday, let's see. Last 30-minute candle. This was the 130 candle. This is where we hit that 81,300 level. Equal and opposite candles since then, and then right now we're just kind of paused. Little baby candle right now, kind of sitting here, probably waiting for the close. Remember, we do have a big event tomorrow, 10:30. We do have that Jackson Hole supposed speech by Warsh. That's supposed to, either make everybody happy or freak everybody out. So there might be a little bit of pauses in some of these markets as we go forward here throughout the day. But right now, we'll see if we get a retracement back down to R2 or even the top of the IB will be interesting. We're above that VWAP right now. So I don't expect any more major milestones on the Bitcoin other than to trade within that VWAP and that upper second standard deviation band. Let's look at the mighty Russell though, and I do not know. By the way, I do not know if Selma's got a position on the Russell. I know she likes it sometimes, and I do too. Let's just go back to the daily really quickly here. We'll do a real brief. Come on, there we go. Again, a lot of consolidation here. This is just all sideways the last 5 days. Look at these baby candles. One, two, three, four, five in a row. Today is no different. This is coiling, ready to do something right now. And targets right now, we're retracing them all the way back down. There's that VWAP really close to the pivot. 3,012.7. That's going to be a pretty substantial retracement, maybe almost 50%. I'm just eyeballing it if we continue down there, but looking bullish other than that. That is this afternoon's Edge Report, and we are ready to trade the close with Leo, Selma, and Chris amongst my three favorites. How you guys doing?
You tell
Well,
everybody that, Jim.
Well, I figure if I use the word amongst, I'm covered.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit,
Hola.
if you ask me.
I don't. I mean, I risk the wrath of now that you're an ex torching up, ex formerly known as Twitter with your anti-order flow propaganda.
Yeah,
I got to be careful, and I don't want to ever get Salma mad at me. Period. I don't want to
Smart man.
experience that wrath. And Chris is just a gentleman. He's just a nice guy. So
did you hear that, Chris? He's like, Chris is so docile. He would never.
I did
Really
not use the
care.
word docile. I said gentleman.
I heard docile.
No, gentleman Jim.
Yo,
was a
you're
heavyweight
such a
champ, man.
pot stirrer. Holy crap.
Listen, I'm just happy to be here, guys.
I'm just here so
Yeah.
I don't get fired.
I try to be supportive, and I don't know.
All right, guys, come on. I have a position on and my targets are about to get hit.
All right,
so
Salma,
Oh,
show
let's
us.
keep
let's
What
talk
do you
about
moving
it.
here.
What are you thinking, Salma? Let's see it.
All right. Surprise. I have a trade on NQ. I'm short from the top on NQ and ES. I've been waiting for this drop for quite some time.
6
And-
hours later.
Dude, it has been a brutal day for someone who enjoys shorting, and I'm sitting here watching the market just melt up. But I am in runners on NQ, and this is full position on ES still. Kind of being a little bit greedy. I keep moving my targets just a little bit lower because this thing seems like it wants to knife. So just moving that down a little bit. But yeah, right now it's just a matter of managing the position. The 30-minute was just looking beautiful. We had the shooter candle at the top of this trend here. You know, NQ did take out the highs, and as soon as we swept those highs, we got that rejection and buyer exhaustion. So yeah, it's beautiful to see, and that's it. That's probably all I'll do today, honestly, is just hold on to these for as long as I can, and yeah.
So the term shooter candle, I heard
Yeah.
it the other day from Sarah. Did you get it from
Mhm.
Sarah, or is this a term that I just didn't know existed?
No, I mean it's just a term. But I have also learned the strat, so maybe I picked it up from the strat. Like,
Okay.
but yeah, shooters and hammers, it's just basically an upside
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
hammer. That's all it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
No, Sarah uses it, and I thought, because
Yeah.
I'm starting to learn the strat myself, by the way.
Oh,
So
yeah, it's cool. Strat is really good, especially if you're someone who's like trying to get into the whole like candle pattern recognition. As if you're into that, the strat is amazing. And it's really great. It's kind of helped me be able to implement like what I look for as far as these reversal setups. So
yeah, I gotcha. All right. Awesome, man. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed as usual. Thank you for sharing. And I always know when you're having a good day, Selma, because
because I am
you're
chirpy.
clearly happy.
Well, it's been a pretty it's been a pretty great day. It's been a pretty good like 10 sessions. The last 10 days have been really good for me
Nice.
in my
Well,
kind of trading. So
I'm happy to hear that.
no, thank you, Jim.
Christian, what are you thinking, man?
So that short that someone has, A+ location. Let me tell you why. I was short as well, but I closed it before the stream. But let me share this here. So for NQ, we had reclaimed, and I feel like, we've been talking about this for weeks, this multi-range area that we've been in, we were sort of consolidating under it, and we were sort of waiting for NVIDIA. Do we continue lower? Do we reclaim it and attempt a push higher? So we gapped up overnight. We rallied into what? The bull bear zone, which is right, the midpoint of this range that sort of dictates bullish above, bearish below. So we just literally tagged it. So that, that short that Salma, I don't know if she recognized where we were location wise, but that was an A+++ zone. I got short there. I just closed it. But I can't like sort of trade anything else after that. Like that was one of my best trade ideas for the day.
Yeah.
We're back in the range. 520s is a good support area. So maybe there's an opportunity at 520s that I can look for another bounce. But with the trade like that, and I was long from the lows down here, like it's just I'll see what I can find. But if we're gonna stay back in this range below the IB high, then probably going to be range bound. Then I'll be bugging Leo with some fair value gap questions, since I know he loves that.
Big fair value gap guy.
All right. I thought Selma was. No, I'm joking, Selma. That was an inside joke.
It's not even funny, bro.
I'll straighten out Mike Burke on that one.
I literally said to him, I said, that can't be right. There's no way that's right.
He asked me who to go to. I told him Tanya, I thought.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I said, maybe Jim has me all mixed up.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Thank you, Chris, for that. Appreciate that. Leo, what are you thinking, man?
Honestly, this is the first time I've pulled up a chart, and we're in the middle of the session. So we either have to go down to the low for me to get interested in a long, or we have to go back up to the highs to, I guess, look for a short, because we have a rotational day. How do I know that? You just look left at the chart. We've gone up and down and up and down. We're not going anywhere. So unless we start to go somewhere and we break out either up to the upside or the downside, I don't really have a play here in the middle of the range. So we're going to just have to, if we get something, we get something. If we don't, we have to listen to Salma talk.
Hey, yo. Wait.
So, but I got a silly question. So you just opened the chart for the first time. Begs the question, what were you doing all morning?
Shit posting on Twitter.
Oh, right.
I mean,
some would say drama queen vibes.
Salma said it was I was just having fun. I didn't really feel like pulling up charts today. I had some other stuff going on that I had to do around the house.
Listen,
so I was just having fun.
If shit talking paid my bills, I'd be doing it all day too. So I don't blame you.
All right.
What? Are you?
I'm joking.
We're gonna have to remove Salma from the segment.
Oh wow.
No more Salma.
Salma, wait for me to get out of here before you guys start doing this.
All right.
I do want to remind everybody though, at 4:00 today, very, very special. Develop Your Edge with Merritt Black. Looking forward to doing that. He's going to focus on volume profile and trade location. There he is. There's a good looking guy. So talked to him a couple days ago. He's fired up. He's got a great story to tell, a great presentation, and we're looking forward to talking with Merritt at 4:00 today. After these guys are done, don't leave when that bell rings. It's going to be awesome. And bring your questions. We're going to take questions on the fly. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got, you guys. Wish you the best of luck on your trades. I'm gonna dip into the chat.
All right. Bye, Jim.
Take care.
What's up, guys?
How we doing?
How you doing?
You guys are gonna have to talk for a minute. I got to take care of something.
All right. No worries.
You got a what?
I got to get a taco.
I heard I got to get a taco. I don't know what he said, but that's what I heard.
We had we had to turn the chiller off because it's been in the 90s here, so it hasn't been that bad.
You guys can't hear it, but Jim's in the background talking so much smack.
Reminds me, I need to go get my weekly taco order.
Oh, I just realized you guys can't see both of my charts at the same time. How's this? This look better? Looks smushed. Oh, whatever. What's up, Chris?
What's up?
How you been?
Good. Just grinding it out. You?
Yep. Are you gonna join in for Merritt's?
Yeah. I'm gonna watch that.
You gotta support your boy.
That's
Yeah.
actually Chris's boy. I mean, it's nobody else's boy except for Chris's.
Yeah, I agree.
What?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about?
You see, he wasn't even talking to you.
What?
You said you guys talk because I have to go get tacos. So she's talking to me.
Chris, you have
Anyways.
to ask Merritt why he keeps stealing your terminology.
I know. He, you know, what he teaches you guys came from me, all right? So just letting you guys know. Hey guys, I'm Merritt. I create the words that you speak.
What the hell?
Thinks he comes up with all this fancy stuff, but it's all been said and done. Okay.
Mags, today was not my first NQ trade. No. Not my first ever NQ trade. Listen, I don't prefer to trade NQ, but sometimes it just looks so much better. And today, NQ is definitely weaker, at least in the first half of the day. It's definitely weaker than ES.
We should long it. What are we longing? You want to long NQ right here?
Please don't. Not yet.
Let me check the MBO. I want to make sure that I get no edge on this trade. Oh, it's just a joke about market by order. There are people that are trying to sell you, retail traders, on the idea that market by order is somehow a more advanced way to look at order flow. And to be frank with you, it's quite fucking bullshit. If I can just be honest. That doesn't mean that using a DOM is not helpful, but you don't need market by order data. And you shouldn't pay for it. That's my professional opinion.
Okay, listen. I have some questions.
You want a level 6 data, Chris? I'm not going to give you access to it, okay?
No, but serious. I have some questions, Salma. I'm sorry if this takes a little bit too long, but I'm learning how to apply some of this OF stuff into my zones.
Bro, you might have to direct your question to somebody else.
Well, you are the order flow expert, Salma.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So I got to ask Leo some of these questions, okay?
Sure. Do your thing. I'll be here hanging out.
All right. So I'm gonna share what my not, it's not a problem, but I want to know, I want to look at the inside transactions in a way, sort of what you guys look at, okay? In areas that I have my zones, my indicator, in alignment with, one second.
Bro, he just leaves.
I had to close my door. My dogs are playing out near the door. And so my understanding is that you can look at the delta to the delta flip. I haven't really looked up definition of that, to then see, you know, like sellers are trying and there's no follow through, right? That's my idea of it. And then something flips and then that's where you guys can see that maybe and get long. So let me show you an example of what I did yesterday in alignment with the order flow stuff, and you tell me if this is the best thing that I can look at for what I want, or if it's maybe the DOM. So yesterday at the Asia Open, I got
Wait,
long.
are we being serious right now, or are we just doing a bit?
No, I'm being serious. Is that okay?
This whole time I thought we were just shit posting.
No, bro. I'm seriously trying to learn. I'm trying to learn how to make more from what
I just
what I
needed
can
to
do.
know what hat to put on.
Okay. And this is
How
good
do
for
I
everybody else
view-
watching.
How do I view this while you're walking through it? I need to see your screen.
Go
Go
to
on
YouTube.
Zoom. No, go on Zoom. You can see his.
There, look on YouTube.
As
They're
if-
sharing my screen.
It's behind, so I'm gonna see everything on a delay if I go to YouTube.
Oh, okay.
How do I
That's
view
what
it
I said, but
Zoom?
nobody listens.
Salma was right.
Make the meeting window big again. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, I'm following along now.
Okay, so yesterday I bought this dip, this pullback in the Asia Open, and this is in alignment with my plan, my process, location wise. We were there. We're actually undercutting prior day high. We had a divergence where ES was above it, NQ was below it.
Yeah.
All my other stuff requirements were there, right?
Yeah.
But I increased my size because of what I thought I saw.
So you can just say you went balls deep.
I didn't. But okay, so at this area at 450, we were also, one part of it was we were building a high volume node, which is what I think we were doing. But I saw this large or, red line, meaning that sellers were trying here, right? My idea of it. This red line here to me represents sellers trying. And to me, this is they're selling it, but we're now into support. We're into a good pivot. The downtrend from the highs is done. And so my interaction here how I looked at this was, okay, they're trying to break lower. If we fail and we trigger, and then we set up my setup that I'm going to take long, and actually went long 2 times my size because we were sort of dancing around here. We pushed lower, but we just kept getting wicks, right? We didn't have any follow through. Eventually, we had this candle here. I know you don't like looking at SMTs, but NQ made a new low here while ES didn't, into prior day high, and then we had divergences, etc. So I got long here. So to me, that was an indication that sellers were pressing it. They had no follow through, and then something in the tape switched. I saw it as, the 9MA. I talk about a lot my structure here, but this is the 9MA lower low, lower high, and then it triggered higher.
Yeah.
So I saw that in real time, and I was pretty comfortable with it because where we were. So I took it long, and then my idea was like, okay, if we come in back test it, we need to hold and we create a higher low against it, and we did. So moving forward, is that correct? Like if we're at the highs, I need to be looking at buyers trying to buy it and failing, and then can use it to get short.
Yeah.
So all of that is correct.
Mm-hmm. You're essentially looking for just what you described. There's initiative selling, which is dominating the tape, right? That's essentially what you're seeing by that red delta volume bar right there. So there's more selling than buying that's occurring, and that's why that red delta is so large compared to the prior bars.
Yeah.
And so once we broke those prior lows just to the left of what you're looking at, selling really, they really try to step on it. And you see that sideways action where there's lots of those wicks, those little tails right inside there. That's an indication that all of that selling is being absorbed passively from buyers. So this is a pattern you would look for like reversal at lows, And then the opposite, just like you said, would be a pattern. You would look for reversals at highs, which is one. This is essentially what I use the leg to leg profile for, identifying those spots, because like here you're looking at every single tick. The leg to leg profile that I built combines ticks together so that you're not getting, like, you're looking at so granular, and this is a great example. But in NQ, you want to compress, you want to combine, like 8 ticks together is kind of the minimum, so that you get a better idea of like the whole zone, the zone as a whole, because anything can happen on a tick or two. But you want to look at, what's happening a little bit in a bigger zone. And yes, you don't need to do it that much, because there's, you can maybe combine 1 tick together in ES, so you did like 2 tick compression. But yes, this is essentially what that leg to leg profile that we created allows you to do, and it tracks each leg, as the participants are getting engaged. So yeah, I mean, this is exactly what, one of the setups we use that leg to leg profile for.
And that's different from this,
That's different from what?
from what I have currently on here.
Yes, a little bit. I mean, the information is the same, but just how it's displayed and shown to you is a little bit different. So like if you downloaded the leg to leg indicator that we built, you could start using it and you would see, why, like what I'm talking about, why it's different.
And it's better at a scenario like this.
It just helps you see that in real time.
Oh, okay. All right, one more question, and then Salma, I'll let you take it over. I know you're short. Did you partial out?
Can I
No,
help
no, I'm
Chris with
still
the
in.
aesthetics? Can I help Chris with the aesthetics of that chart?
I'm just trailing my
Yes, I can help
stops
Chris's
and
chart
profit.
look better.
Oh, you're trailing your. It was a great short. I should have kept it. I didn't,
Thank you.
I didn't think we were going to see this kind of drop because buyers were just so strong today. But it
Bro,
paid you well.
I had SPX puts that I sold as soon as we started dropping. Sold them for peanuts. They're up 400% right now. No.
Okay,
All right,
one
but
more
this.
question.
Go ahead.
What can I do about what I showed you? I want to see that for that specific moment in time, but as the whole session develops, the past volume profile data is still there. So how can I just isolate a specific moment in time and look at the information there? Because right now, we're seeing, I don't know,
Well, that's
12
what the leg
hours
to
of
leg do.
data.
It would draw it from the current high until now. So you would see the most relevant information right now, and then you could use it again for on a higher time frame. You could do something different. Like
What if I
there's
want to
multiple
look for
ways.
that information here again? Nowhere
That's a
else.
little too, like, you're kind of majoring in the minors there.
Okay. Would that be something better for the DOM?
Yeah. It like if just isolating that one little spot would be a little like too micro focused.
Okay. I'll learn more about it. Thank you.
Yeah, if only you had people that you could message like directly on Discord that knew these type of things.
Yeah, bro, but I don't want to. I got to learn it first before telling you, hey, what's a low volume node?
Chris,
Yeah.
but those same people will leave you on red for 6 weeks.
Fucking Salma. I mean, this is the bullshit that I deal with, chat.
I'm sorry, you set me up for that one.
By the way, Salma, where we shorted, that was the same
Yeah.
thing up here. Like what I was talking about with Leo. Like
Yeah.
there was a lot of selling pressure. No, sorry, buying pressure. There was a lot of green up here in this volume profile.
Mm-hmm.
And price was trying to peak at these highs. And then, I mean, I used that to go double size again. Because when that buying failed and my setup triggered, I got short So I think it's a
just
good
if you look
way.
at my screen here, these are on the micros, but usually the same patterns can play out on micros versus minis. But look, you have sideways consolidation, and all of the majority of the business up here was done on the offer, right? And then below here, you have sellers. So you have passive sellers, they're just reloading the offer. And then you have initiative sellers crossing that spread, selling into this range. So once it broke, it was kind of game over.
Yeah.
So like those are the patterns that I look for with the leg to leg. And this compression allows you to view that over a whole zone versus like one tick or two. And that was the feedback that I was giving you.
Yeah. I actually like how you have your volume profile too, because it's mine. I have to like fully extend to see this back data,
Yeah.
and yours have it right there on the right. So I'll
Right on
bug
the
you
right.
for that.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. I feel like this helped the chat too. They tell me to use footprint chat. I had it on, but it doesn't make sense yet.
I'm actually building a footprint that will be the way that I would view a footprint or like most leverage a footprint. So that's something else that we're going to put out there too.
Because I had it and I could see the numbers, but I wouldn't be able to see the delta flip. Like you see minus 1100, minus 1200, plus 600, and we're still finding a support and we're still bouncing from there. But there was nothing there saying minus 1500, minus 2000, and then all of a sudden plus 3000 to show like a big change in delta. So
that's
I didn't see
the
that.
thing is that you would have to look at it a little bit differently. Like a footprint is not a great tool to use to look at the overall trend. It's a great tool to see what's happening like here and now or what happened in the past. If you want to take the delta specifically, isolate it down, you would want to smooth that data out with like moving averages or something else so that you kind of understand what the trend of the delta has been, right, over a period of time versus what it's doing right now, and then qualifying what when you say a delta flip, what makes that flip significant, right? Is it we just flipped the last, there was a bunch of selling in 30 seconds, and then the last 30 seconds, a bunch of buying. Like I would submit to you that if you obsess over that short time frame, that you're kind of wasting your time, right? Because it's too far into the weeds. And that's what a lot of people do with order flow is they think that, oh, well, they're watching every tick. What you're looking for, because you trade differently, you're kind of trying to catch, more of a trend type move, is you want to look for what's that trend in the delta over time, and then give you a view into, okay, when is that starting to shift, from selling to buying or buying to selling.
Yeah.
Where did I get the volume profile? I built it. You can go to the profile, the NinjaTrader microsite that they created for me, and you can find it on you'll just see like get the free DOM. Just follow that path and you'll be able to get the volume profile tools as well. Is Delta Map no longer good? Yes, it is. I personally, no, I don't use it on stream because I don't want to come on stream and just talk about the order flow based tools that I use. Just because I would prefer to just like hang out and talk about trading. So my chart here is a very minimalistic to what I use day in, day out. So I still use Delta Map. I mean, I built that over many months and years of experience, and I use that every day. I mean, it's still just as effective today as it was, 3 years ago when we created it.
Thank you. Good question here. Chris, I thought you had your system pretty dialed in. Why do you feel like you need to add extra complexity? I don't feel like it's adding extra complexity. What I see it doing for me is helping me make more. How can I size up bigger at a location that I see as an A plus, right? If I'm looking at it and I have three indications here or four indications here telling me, hey, we have divergences at prior to high, we're at a strong support zone, the trend has completed, right? These are all things that I'm sort of checking off. If I can check off additional more and say, okay, what are my requirements for a incredible A plus setup where I can risk 3 times my size, right? That will allow me to trade less. That may allow me to be on the screens less. And I can make, I can already make, 5 figures on a good trade. I'm trying to do, okay, what can I do to get to the next level where I can make 20 to 30 grand in a day with the same things that I'm looking at?
And it's something that gives you confidence in your trade. When you see what's happening underneath the hood and your understanding of that happening increases, when you understand what's happening at your trade location, at your strategy, area of strategy, whatever you want to call it, when you understand what's actually happening between the people that are moving the market, the buyers and the sellers, it gives you more confidence to put those trades on and to lean into those trades.
Dude, what an exit on those shorts. Let's freaking go.
W. Salma.
W. Salma, dude.
Yeah, great short. Fantastic.
No.
Yo, that's a good one.
Fun fact, that's sampled from a very famous Arabic singer. So it's a good sample. So I actually got trailed out of my NQ. My NQ got stopped out in profit on that bounce from this 230 5-minute candle. And then I manually exited my ES one because I saw us, what we printed was a shooter candle at the bottom of this trend. I know it's the 5 and I don't really love using the 5 for these setups, but it also was at the midnight open for both NQ and ES. I saw that selling kind of stop and buyers started to step in. So I just manually got out of my ES. We can still reject the 9 EMA and continue lower, but that was just not something I wanted to risk. So.
Hey, good trade.
Yeah.
I don't know what would beat that into the close.
Yeah. I've just been waiting for these setups, dude. These like my exact setup, and I will just wait all freaking day for it. And the past couple days have just been super, super rewarding.
As you should.
Yeah.
That's profitable trading.
Yeah.
Hey,
Also,
finally,
go ahead.
Smart Trader Paulo is here, so we can now we can now trade now that he's here.
Oh, bro. Oh God. All right, Leo, I nominate you for a trade. Go.
I don't have anything right now. I was just saying he's here.
You got to do it.
Just look at the order flow.
Bro, let the order flow guide you.
Let the flow of the order.
That was a good discussion, though. Unfortunately, we had to actually be serious for once. I'm kind of disappointed in that.
It's the fact that Leo had to stop and say, "Wait, are we doing a bit here?" Bro.
Man, look.
It's just there's so much money to be making out there, guys. Like,
I like to have fun. I can also be serious.
He can.
Who asked Chris, like, why you want to change up your strategy?
I can't remember the name. I'm not looking to change it. I just want to make more.
You want to add? Yeah. I think there's nothing wrong with that, especially because you kind of experiment where you do like one account with one strategy, and then you do another account, another strategy. That was a very valid question, Cabbage, and actually, someone recommended that I look into the IB strat because when I'm on like Trade the Open, I'm always talking about how I like to wait for like 10 a.m. and I'm like super, super patient with just not wanting to trade that first 30-minute volatility, and I'd rather just sit and wait until after 10 a.m. for me to even start looking for some sort of setup. And yeah, I had a good buddy of mine just say to me, like, Salma, you already wait 30 minutes, like, until you even consider taking a trade. Why don't you just wait another 30 minutes for that IB to form and then start basing your trades off that? And it got me kind of thinking, and, you know, I do want to look into the IB just because of that. Even though, you know, I have other strategies that have been pretty good to me.
Yeah, the IB is a good, it gives you a good reference at like initial support and resistance.
Yeah.
Where we're finding like short-term acceptance, like if we're consolidating above the 50% of the IB. Like today was the move away from like 600 area into 660s. We were consolidating. You know, my go-to setup is a wedge, but we had a wedge after a test of VWAP, test of the 50% of the IB. And so that tells you, hey, we're forming acceptance above it, right? Sellers tried, but they failed. And that gives you context. And through that, you can execute better. It's the same thing with, you know, what I look at. Gosh, everybody's asking this. What indicator do I have here on the right? It's called SETMO Price Access Volume Delta. It's a community indicator. I was just looking to see what had volume profile and delta.
Is that like just a delta profile?
Yeah.
For the whole session? That's what it looks like.
Can something be built where we just focus on a specific area, you think? Like if I can just isolate this area?
I mean, like if you wanted to go back in time?
No, like if I just want a volume profile right here, 15-minute window, can that be?
Yeah,
something?
You can do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Every 15 minutes it changes?
No. Like I don't know. I don't know, you know, the possibilities with it. So I don't know how to ask it.
I mean,
properly.
anything's possible. I would warn you that going down to that level of like a microscope, that you're going to get faked out more than you're going to actually catch like what you're looking for.
Well, I'm still waiting for my own setup to execute per my rules. But yeah, so if that doesn't happen, I won't take it.
Yeah.
But but it sounds like if I need to be looking at this specific window, I have to be looking at the DOM and see some sort of delta flip there in real time.
Yeah. I mean, I think we could recreate the leg to leg and the NinjaTrader app, the mobile app or web app, sorry.
Anchored volume profile.
I just don't have the right connections within, you know, where all
I thought you created Overflow. Come on.
I mean, I did. You're right. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. Sorry, guys.
Essentially, guys, what I'm looking to do is, and I've told Leo about this. If I can find a swing entry that I want to hold for multiple days or multiple weeks, but on a 2-minute time frame, I can size that up like 30 times my size.
That's balls deep.
Okay, because I can still have like $1,000, $2,000 risk with a 20-point stop, and then hold that for a 2, 3, 4,000 point move in a trending environment.
And then you can really get some tacos.
And tacos for everybody at that point.
One of the most powerful things on trend-based moves is what we just described, but on those micro pullbacks.
Yeah, like what Stowe does.
Right. So like if we have a trending market and we get those micro pullbacks where the bid, you know, accumulates like the red delta, you look for those spots and then just add on every one of those micro pullbacks and just ride that trend for as long as you can. That's a very powerful trade. That's literally all of the R's.
Yeah.
Purges.
You can use NinjaTrader. Tracy says you can use NinjaTrader order full volume profile in a section of the area. I don't know. This is going to take me like a month to really
Yeah, you can
master.
draw a volume profile with NinjaTrader's existing
Really?
tools.
The order flow one? Order flow volume profile?
There's okay, so cancel out of this. See that on the toolbar at the top, there's a little volume little graphic with a
Toolbar
box.
at the top.
Yeah, keep to your right
Here.
there. That, and then oh, maybe that's not it. I thought that was it. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Hang on. There is a way to do this. Drawing tools, maybe? Yeah. Order flow volume profile. Okay. Right click, go to that right there. So now you can just draw.
Let me draw it up here where I took the short. Oh.
Yeah. So,
wait, but you
that's
can't
not
see
going to
the
give you the
delta in
delta.
there.
Right.
I
don't know if you can change it to see the delta, but you could like set your default settings.
Yeah, I want to see that delta.
Right. Oh, you can change
that's
it.
so
Okay.
powerful.
They said you can change it in the settings. So what you could do is you can change the default when you draw a volume profile to be a delta profile.
Guys, think XY's entry process and then apply a swing trading. Like combine X, Y, and I. 100. I mean, I don't want to say, but that's so much.
1 million R's.
That's so much.
So many R's. Think of all the R's.
I'm probably going to go like a month of going all in on this to try and master these trade locations.
Welcome to my playground.
XYZ. XYZ. I mean, that's where I want my trading to be. If I can just place 1 to 3 trades a week. So many possibilities. Yeah, I don't see delta here. They're both blue. Point of control, color for buy. Buy should be green. Oh, people messaging me as they're watching. Some are saying, "Can you shut up, please? I'm here to watch Salma." My bad. My bad.
No one's saying that. Stop.
My bad.
Anyways,
better be
for
nice to
everyone
Chris.
else, please don't use order flow. It has no edge. It's useless. Merritt is here for Develop Your Edge, which starts at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is in 1 hour and 8 minutes.
If the 30-minute on ES can print a shooter candle here at the lows at midnight open, I like it for a continuation back up. NQ is definitely trying, and so is the Russell. Let's see if ES can play catch up. Still have 6 minutes, so a lot can happen in 6 minutes.
The old midnight open has always been a funny curiosity of mine.
Listen, if that level is important to others, then I'm going to slap it on my chart.
Who's it important to?
Well,
Wait,
there's a
somebody said we
reaction.
can make it into Delta.
Oh, he's
Oh, we
gonna be dreaming
can.
about Delta tonight.
I'm gonna name my first kid Delta. Okay, so you can do Delta here,
I mean, that's
but
what we were trying to tell you.
and let's which. Let me see. Let me see.
Daddy, chill.
That's a clip.
You don't know where that's from?
I know where that's from.
Color for
Daddy,
cell.
chill.
Cell should be green. Why is cell?
He
Oh, I
goes,
like
"What the
this.
hell is even that?"
And then do ticks per level, do like 8.
Ticks per level do 8.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't
See?
like that at all. What?
You're so zoomed in. This is what I'm saying. Like, what you should create, the profile should be wider.
I like
For
this one
one,
better. Wider? How do you do that? Value area 68. No.
No, that's not it. Go down. I don't know if you can adjust it on NinjaTrader's.
No, this is it.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Okay, so I can see that there was some buying here. There was buying
You
here
should just
taking
download
place.
mine.
Oh, I'll do that. Display mode? I don't know how to get display mode, Renee.
You know,
There's a lot
decent
of
little
buying here
trade
that failed.
after the day
Then if you
here is-
combine that with this other one, you can get double the delta. Ooh, now we're talking. Now we're
this is
talking.
going to try to gigabrain this thing and ruin it.
You have double the buying here. Come on now. Right here at 68. And then at that time,
Okay,
my
think about it
9MA.
Think about it in this tone, in this other context here, Chris. If you go back to what you were just saying, I want you to go back to what you were just thinking.
Okay, double delta.
Double the buying, right? And you look to the left.
Okay, I'm looking to the left, to the left,
Okay.
to the left.
So you mentioned, well, the prior time we were there in the 660s,
Yeah.
there was also that same behavior.
Yep.
So instead of saying double the buying, what I want you to think about is there is a passive seller up there, because that's really what's happening. There's buying and selling in the market at all times. That's more or less going to be any given tick neutral. But when there's a seller that's reloading the offer, like their life depends on it.
Okay.
They're just
That's what's happening here.
absorbing all of that buying, and then so that
eating
it
it
becomes condensed into, okay, all the volume appears on the offer. So it then becomes more of like somebody, it's not about all the buying, it's about just there's a passive seller there.
I see. So it's just eating up all the buys, and it's not doing anything.
Yeah. Right. So we're attempting to go higher. Price is attempting to go higher. There's buyers trying to lift the offer, but the offer, like a sponge, has a water hose of, orders that are, that they're just refilling, into the market. Now, from time to time, obviously, just like anything, any other strategy, buyers are going to get through some of these scenarios, right? This is not a, just short this move and print money every day. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we would be multi-billionaires. So you also need to know that Well, this is a great strategy, and this is what I use predominantly, the leg to leg for. That it does, like, traders do get through these areas of absorption, and they're usually violent when they do.
Yes. To see that's where I think is we hear all the time that people can't understand order flow well because they're just trading it at all these different places where they see something like that.
Right.
But with what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to combine it into areas that I know and into a trend completion. So for you guys who know my process, into this area, we had a higher high 1, higher low 1, higher high 2, higher low 2, and then higher high 3. So the trend is complete, right? So I know that the trend is ending into an area of resistance, into a major area, because it's the bull bear zone of this multi-week range. And it's the first time back testing it. So there's a lot of, a lot there to get through. And if the trend is ending into it, what's the most, obvious thing is that it's going to pause. It may reject. We don't know if it's just going to correct sideways or if it's going to have a big correction like it did have today. But that's where, what I'm learning is that if you apply that here and then you can look at the inside under the hood, then, you can do a little bit better.
Right. It's important to put it through that filter, though. Like you said, you have your process. I have my process. You've got your levels. I have things I look at. Salma has things that she looks at. And applying order flow concepts to those levels is going to give you, that extra confidence, that extra piece of understanding about what's actually happening there underneath the hood, like you said.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for this lesson. Hope
And we
everybody
go back to jokes and stuff like that. That's actually way better.
Yeah. You suck. What hat is that? Get a better hat.
It says daddy on it.
All right, this is looking like it wants to go back up. If it just goes from here, it's going to go without me.
I'm a really good teacher. I don't think so, actually. I kind of suck at it.
You did a pretty good job. Plus, by the way, Chris, everything you're asking, I'm sure there's someone in chat who's thinking the same exact, thoughts and questions. So this is helpful for chat too.
Yeah.
You guys better save this video and rewatch it later. Teach us how to grill a steak the Leo way.
When you do ticks per level, it is better to do 8. Yeah,
I would say like 8 to 12 is my sweet
8
spot
to
personally.
12. So you can see a cumulative effort versus
over a zone. Yeah. Because like NQ, if you look at any one tick, it's just a bunch of noise. It's not, that story is not, the same story is not true on ES, but it certainly is on NQ.
I see. It's one block instead.
Yeah. This is not really helping my whole bit on Twitter that, order flows.
That was my I got you.
Damn it.
This is all planned.
The problem that I have, though, is like people are taking order flow, the term, and turning it into a fad and then selling it to other people as something that's not based in reality. It is a tool to use in a process, but it's not the end all be all. And that's what upsets me, I guess in one way, is people are taking a fad, jumping on the bandwagon, and then creating courses or other things and saying you need this thing.
All right, I'm trying to long here.
Where?
On ES. You're at
Okay.
28. It's a good spot for us to bounce from. Plus NQ is a bit stronger than ES here.
Mm.
Russell recovering very well. Dow looks good for reversal too. So worth a shot.
Yeah, I
What
missed
volume value do I use? I don't.
90.
On which, in what context, Octavio? There we go. Getting a pump. Somebody
Was
put
that
a couple of hundred lots on the bid, and so the sellers are like, cool, we'll take that. Stack some offer on behind it too.
was a little. I can't call everything a delta flip, right? I see here sellers were more active. We moved down to test the
We
zone,
need
and then we bounced. So that to me is a delta flip, no?
we need Chris to do like a like day one. This is day one of me using order flow in Delta. And then like this is day two of
Oh, that would be actually really good. Chris, you should do it. I bet you it blows up.
Start a TikTok video on that. Day one, learning delta to capture a 3,000 point swing. I think that's the opposite of what people try to do with order flow, huh? That was a solid bounce of 520 zones, which was I don't know if you guys remember this 520 area, pretty important from last week.
Pump it up.
you got to pump it up.
You got to pump it up.
Damn, they're on it.
Um I would agree to disagree with you on the cumulative volume delta. I think that CVD, personally, not a fan of it. I don't really want to go into like a whole another speech about why, but I actually did write something on this. I think I'm going to post it to Twitter pretty soon. And that might help, explain it in more detail, but definitely not a fan of CVD. You hope less and less people CVD? Evil laugh. I know Merritt uses it, and it works for him. I just personally don't. Me personally, I don't use it. For a footprint chart, is it better to you view it as a volume profile or default? I'm gonna put one out there that I would use, and then you guys can look at it from with that context. I haven't really had a chance to work on it yet. Give me MBO or give me death. I think I'd prefer death. I thought you would think that was funny.
All right, give me above this first rotation and above the 9 EMA for my first trim. Let's go pump. They could reject it from here.
The gray volume profile that you have on the right, can that show delta? Yeah.
Wait, what?
The gray volume profile that you have on the far right by the price column, can that show
Over
delta?
Yeah, here for the whole session.
Oh, I'm just, those are the ones you created, no? Like those three volume
Well,
profiles?
this is one. Yeah, but we can show more. That's what I'm saying. Like this is the session. So like this is the whole day
Yeah.
volume. You can do the whole day's delta too. So like it's just a setting in the tool. So like session delta. Here I'll turn it on. You'll see. So now we have the whole session delta and then the current leg delta and volume. If you look at my screen.
Yeah.
And you can control the how many ticks to combine. So like this is where's that setting? Tick grouping. So this is 15. Like I could change this to 12. So like you can get more granular. I mean, I could even go down to 1, just to show you
1 minute or one what?
1 tick.
Oh.
Yeah, so like this is what you probably see when you look at it.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to download that one.
It's free. Yeah. Doesn't cost you a penny.
I like that big red line near the lows there. What is that? 5.6, 5.19 on your screen?
5.19 down in here.
No, it's 5.30. 5.19.
Right here. The OR
Yeah.
mid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh wait, we didn't get to that level.
Oh, on this last rotation down? No, we just got to 28.
But the earlier one, that's probably where all the selling came from, huh?
Yeah, or earlier in the day. Here, what I can do actually is, because we have this other option, you can look at the previous leg as well. So like, okay. So here's the current leg from this low to now. It's building, right? The prior leg was this here. So you could see what happened in the past. So you were talking all that buying up into the 670s that didn't get anywhere. Here's the leg delta from this high to this low.
Wait. How do I see your screen?
I think
I got to do that Zoom thing that they said.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Oh, I can't believe you guys never knew.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Leo.
Okay, so right here is the current leg. So we're looking from this low to now, and it's building new information, right? It's updating in real time the delta that's happening now.
Oh, that's what I want. Current leg. Okay.
Yeah, this one back here is the prior leg. So it's from this high down to this low.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you're getting a view of what happened in the past here, and now this is what's happening right now. So you can see what happened on this push down from a delta perspective, and now you're seeing what's happening right now as we build this new leg.
So in that push down into 520s, it was just red, but it was exhausted at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's you know, again, it's so powerful, guys. I don't think I understand. We'll see what the P&L looks like in 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't doubled your R's, I'm gonna you're probably gonna kick me off the show. Where you can download it. You can go to the they'll probably plug it, the microsite that they have for me. You just download it where it says get the free DOM. You'll get both the free DOM and the Ninja pack, the prop tools pack. Right there. Leo's trader profile. You can download it from that. I am going to make a full video going through most of what we discussed today, just a little bit and more concise and broken down at the same time. It's just there's a lot going on here in my life. Yeah, you'll get the volume. This whole thing is just one study. So the volume profile for the session, you can get the delta, you can get the current leg. You can customize it. So I don't really use the session delta, so I turn that off. So you can turn things on or off to customize it how you want it. You can use your own tick combinations. I use, like, when I'm on stream, like 12 to 15 ticks per bar. You can change that, however you want to use the look at the information. You have the ability to change it and make it work for you. Even the width of how big the volume bars are, like I like having a bigger session profile than I do the current leg. So like the width of these volume bars is bigger than these for the leg. So like you can really make it your own.
Yeah. Well, good long again, Salma.
Not good until I hit my target, but thank you. It's really struggling here at the 9 EMA and this purple level I have at 77.33. If we can get above that, then this can really start cooking.
Let her cook.
I either cook or get cooked, chat. Let's see.
Let him cook.
That was a good bounce off 520s. I totally missed it.
Yeah.
But if you're not earning, you got to be learning. So Thanks,
You're doing
And
one
if
of
you're
those
not
things.
learning, you got to be eating
Oh, God.
tacos.
Thanks for your mentorship. I believe on your microsite it says, right, others
Leo's
can reach out
open.
for
I'm not.
others
I'm
can reach
not
out for your
available.
mentorship.
No, it does not
Guys,
say that.
DM
It
him.
actually does not say that.
He's trying to be humble right now. He's saying he's got enough money that he
I
does not
don't-
need your money.
No. Listen, there's no mentorship in here. You get what you get on stream. Sometimes it's worth nothing, usually. Sometimes there's value here, like today.
I think this was
Chris, if you want to Venmo me later, you can. I'll send you my Venmo.
only if you promise to use the money for corn tortillas for tacos, not flour tortillas. I would
I'll
not
say
have my
yes.
money be used for that.
I will segregate my money and use your money specifically to buy corn tortillas.
Okay, good. I think this was Leo's develop your edge segment, guys.
We're doing two back to back. You're going to get one from Merritt here.
Yeah.
In just 30 minutes, and you just got one from me over the past 45 minutes.
Come on, guys. If this is not the best network, I don't know what is. You won't get this level of teaching. Oh, that means the tacos are getting more expensive, Tracy.
Corn is getting expensive.
We got to make more
Have you looked
ours.
at the futures charts?
Yo, this price one's higher.
Send it. Pump it. Are we going back to high day? I don't know about all of that, STC. I'm not sure. Anything's possible, but can't say for certain.
The stream is within my 68% value area. I like that. I'm down with that. Some volume profile jokes.
Guys, we need more likes for that. Come on. Leo broke it down. He gave you a sneak peek at what his mentorship is like. Come on. Gotta like it up. Subscribe. Tell everybody we have Merritt coming on. There's gonna be no more volume profile left after these two guys finish saying what they have
you
to
got
say.
XY, me, Merritt. People that really understand
Salma.
volume profile. The
Oh,
volume
yeah.
profile, Salma.
Yeah, Salma too. I got that
You don't
joke.
know
I just
shit
didn't laugh.
about the
Yes, I
volume
do.
profile.
Yes.
Listen.
The VAH, the VAL, the POC, the point of control. Come on.
Yeah, here's the problem though. You don't even have the right value
Get the
areas or
outta
point of
here,
control
bro.
because you're using the wrong platform.
Whatever. A farm does it. Farm
doesn't
uses
matter.
TradingView.
It's estimated. TradingView makes up the numbers.
Yeah,
They
it's okay.
estimate
And it somehow works for a guy like Farm. Why can't it work for me?
Hey, Farm has
Hey.
his. Hey, I don't know. Farm has also NinjaTrader too. Don't you know?
True.
But anyways, lots of good, valuable information is being shared here on this NinjaTrader YouTube channel. How many likes do we have on today's stream? I wonder. Do you think we deserve a like or two?
Well, I don't know about you, but I definitely deserve a like or two.
193 is a little low.
It is.
I mean, can you imagine 193 likes? Like, that's pretty bad.
Chat, you just got Leo's unfiltered trading segment in live time.
Why does TradingView estimate the numbers? They do not have tick by tick data. So they guesstimate the numbers. That's a fact.
Yo, JT, what did I do to you, dude?
What did he
What the
say?
hell?
You said stick to the midnight open. Bro, the midnight open is the
Oh
reason
my
why I caught
God.
this long. Jerks. Everybody. I don't see your volume profile traders taking the trade.
I was
All
busy explaining.
I'm
Listen,
done. No. I'm
I
done.
missed a trade, Salma, because I was busy teaching Chris about
Bro, Chris,
Delta.
you
and-
Oh, so
definitely
you are going to charge me?
you definitely owe him some
yes,
money.
you're gonna Venmo me later.
Oh,
It's
okay.
$8,000.
Oh, Jesus! If I knew that was going to be that much, I would have done the Temu version. Salma,
Bro. Me, I'm the Temu version. Hell out of here.
Tell me the VAH
Bro.
and VAL.
That's the value area high, and you got the value area low, and you got the point of control and the developing point of control. Yeah. What else do you need to know?
That's it. That's it.
Oh, and volume nodes and all that other stuff. That's it. Done deal.
XY would have done it for a little. Okay, I'll do it for six grand. I'll give you a break.
You know how many tacos I can buy with that?
How many corn tortillas can I buy with it?
2.
2?
Man, this is all fascinating. Salma, what's the number one thing you look at for confidence and execution? Location,
Well, location and just candlestick patterns. Like how a certain candle's looking. And then I do pair that up with like the key level where we are on the chart.
Oh, so was that long off the midnight open? Is that why they were saying
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it's also just the fact that we haven't been since 10:30 we've been just holding this and we haven't been below. So there is some active buying happening here. It's also the exact same spot where NQ bounced off of, also the midnight open. And yeah, we printed like this spinning top candle on the 30-minute, which would give, for any other day, it would tell me that this is a potential reversal. And so I'm attempting it. I can even actually move stops a bit higher here to this swing low from 10:30. But yeah,
What?
nothing.
I was texting my wife.
She tell you she's watching the show and to be nice to me?
No, she's too busy
Aw,
with the
damn.
little one.
Remember the one time where she was actually tuned in?
Yeah, she watches from time to time. She
Yeah,
actually,
What did she say?
she'll tune in to see if I'm on stream because if I'm not, then she's more likely to come bug me.
So she has a something new to use to see what you're doing. She's like, he's
Bro, that's
really,
Is
so
he on
lit.
stream? Is
he's
she on
really
stream?
quiet. Let me see what he's doing.
Is he
That's
on
actually
stream right
so
now?
lit.
If I'm on stream, then she'll leave me alone, but she might come bug me if she needs something if I'm not on stream. It's like she uses the stream to track me down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Very easy way.
Do you stream in your order flow group too?
Me, no.
No.
That's a more expensive service that nobody has access to.
I'm not even not asking. I'm not even looking in that direction.
No, I'm just saying that
Nothing.
nobody. It's a fee-based service that nobody has.
So
know what I
you're
mean?
who Trump got the idea from to charge $100,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Except I don't have any people that trade with me. He has actual people that pay him.
So I asked you about, the indicator. Selma, what indicator do I need to make a guaranteed 2,000 a week? What
I'm not sure. When you find it, let me know.
what is it?
9 EMA.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking.
9 EMA, key levels. That's it. Volume profile.
For a range day, it's a very active one.
I'm enjoying this a lot.
Yeah, it's a much better day.
This week's been really good, and I don't want to jinx it. We're almost at the home stretch. It's been a pretty good week, chat. I don't like how ES all of a sudden is struggling.
Did it hit TP for you?
No.
Oh, yours is that. Oh, you're long ES. I thought it was NQ.
No, I wish I was long NQ because it's like they almost flip-flopped. ES was the stronger one, obviously at the highs when we were pushing. And now all of a sudden it's got no strength. And it's really NQ that's stronger. NQ is above the 9 EMA on the 30. ES is still below it. And ES is also just struggling at this first rotation to the upside from Pax's 30-second opening range at 33. If we can get above 33, this thing can get moving, but we're really struggling here. It's Soothsayer. I like to use the 9 EMA for trend days on the 5, but I like it on all the other time frames if I'm trying to look for targets or somewhere to place my stop loss. But wait, Chris, don't you use the EMA or no? Or am I making that up?
I use the SMA.
SMA, okay. And how do you use that, like, for
As
what?
It's my main indicator to understand structure, like trend structure. Because when we're like, let's say we're in a downtrend and we're bouncing into it, it responds the best. Like the lower high, like for example, you have the 9 EMA. That's a 5-minute ES chart.
Yeah.
You see that, what time is that? Let me see. Your time is 12:12. That 2:45 sort of push into the pink line. That's a lower high, right? Against the downtrend. So in this example, you had a perfect test of it. So that would say, that's the first lower high. The first lower low was the low before that. And then the bounce into that pink line was the first lower high. Then you have another push lower, and that creates a second lower low.
Yeah.
Right. So at that point, now for my approach, I know that the downtrend is ending because the trends in a downtrend only go into the second lower low, sometimes the third lower low, but never really happens. So as we come into a strong area, like you have this midnight open, I'm looking to get long on the reversal of that trend flip against the 9 SMA. But what helps me understand that we are going to flip is that we're into that support area at the midnight open. We're coming into the second lower low. So I know that the trend is ending. We're into a support area. And then, you have probably your own entry criteria. You can, at that point is where I'm looking myself for my own entry criteria, right? Because I'm combining trend structure with support. And then your long is pretty much the flip of that, right? Like, because what happened after your long? You're now starting a higher high, higher low. So you're participating in the uptrend. So that's pretty much what I use it for. Like I would say it's the main, across all timeframes, the main moving average that helps you understand trend structure and where trend is ending, where trend is starting, where it flips, etc. So now your trade should not go below the 325 low, because that's the higher low against the new uptrend. If it breaks that, then and it sort of the trend fails,
Yeah, so you never use it as like targets or where to place your stop loss or anything like that.
No.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I do, because I know that sometimes when we get to, like, for example, let's say what am I trying to say here? Let's say I was still in my short, right? I would like trail my stop lower and lower into profit, and I would keep it at like the 9 EMA on the 5, because I know that if we come back to retest that, there's a chance that
Yeah.
we can do a reversal like the way we're doing it here, and I don't want
Yep.
to give back too much. So like, or if I just use it as like targets and areas to like just place stops. I just know that, once we reach that EMA, that there's going to be some sort of
Yeah.
reaction.
Yeah, and if there isn't, then the trend is changing, and yeah, you want
Right.
to be out.
Yeah.
So it's great. What a push.
Come on, I need one more tick.
Yeah,
There
they
you
went
go.
and tried to fill the offers on ES at 37, and they pulled them. I don't know if they were filled and they just reloaded in the 40s, or they moved from 37 to 40. But there's a 500 lot on the offer at 40.
It's
There
going
we
back
go.
to NQ's going back to 660, 670s.
The low volume
Send
node
it.
right here at in these 30 to 36s would be a decent little short opportunity if it showed up. That's where they initiated the break on the selling. This is kind of the way you would use that prior lag information. So you might assume that there's some aggressive sellers up here that would want to keep it within this range. Definitely do have to check that MBO to confirm that level 46 data. The offer was pulled on 40, so it's gone. Buying here is super sketch. Yeah, I would be selling if I took a position.
Come on, just give me like 5 more points higher. I don't want to see 625 on NQ reject. We definitely struggled here.
Yeah, IB high.
Yeah, I guess that's IB high. Yeah. It's also,
Impacts rotation.
if you're looking at like pre-market from like 5 a.m. onwards, we really struggled at that 625 up until we finally broke out at around 12:30. So yeah, this is a pretty big level here on NQ.
What a push.
Great day. Chat, let's get those likes up. Come on. I think we can do better than, what do we have? 269. We can do so much better than that. Let's get to at least half the likes to viewership. NQ so much closer to new high day than ES is. ES
Well, yeah, look
still.
at software. Things are moving.
Yep.
IGV is at highs. It's going to go for all-time highs later this year.
Let me guess. You're invested. Of course. Of course. I know you are.
NVIDIA too. I don't have NVIDIA. I need to buy it on a pullback.
Hello, Ollie. Welcome in. Thanks for being here.
Hello, Ollie. Jesse is saving his or her like for developing the edge with Merritt. So, he will not
Hey,
like
at
the
least-
stream until Merritt is on.
Yeah, no worries.
I respect it.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, honesty is all we ask for. Dude, who is Merritt? He's
You
just
didn't say
one of
that.
the traders that's
He said where?
Oh, where? Oh. Sorry. Merritt will be on in 20 minutes
Bro,
for-
Leo's counting down.
for Develop Your Edge. He's in the green room. He's getting ready.
Changing, he's getting dressed.
He's putting his clothes on. Usually he doesn't have any.
Hey, yo. I thought that information was private only to Chris. How do you know that, Leo? Bro, Chris, your laugh kills me, bro.
Why?
It's such an evil, it's like an evil
Chris
person's
would know.
laugh.
I think I'm going to try a short here, actually.
Can you stop being the opposition, please?
Buyers are trying here. I can
They're
see
selling.
it.
I know, but they're selling right into these buyers.
Thank
Just-
you, Cooper. I thought I was the only one who noticed that.
Right at this level.
Is this passive or aggressive?
Both. Put that together.
Ooh, I see a lot of red here. Oh, I don't want to trade on here. I have NQ on. Jesus.
All right, I'm going to try it. We're going to give it a tight. We're just going to give it right up to the other side of this LVN.
Breaking without me.
Small 6 lots. Nothing to write home about. But I'm literally just going for an afternoon trade. End of day back into the range for the session. Using the order flow information and the volume profile to position for the trade. It may not work. I don't think it's actually going to work, to be honest. Not high confidence because we're just kind of drifting up into the end of the day. But, it's worth a shot.
What is the indicator called? Sethmo price axis volume delta. Does my develop your edge segment explain how you identify trends and when you expect it to flip? I do. You can go ahead and watch that. Consistent. I talk about trend structure. Buyers are trying.
Send it, Rippy.
It's holding above Pack's first rotation too.
Oh,
625.
you watched that too?
Yeah,
Cool.
it's a really good micro bull bear zone.
Yep. That 625 major level from pre-market.
Yeah, when it failed yesterday, that's what led to the drop. I mean, every single time it fails, we drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're at an inflection point.
A lot of
Leo, I
buyers-
hope you're happy,
Why?
bro, because starting to come back against me.
I mean, 2 points is not really going to make me happy, Salma.
Greedy.
The bid is persistent. Someone at 30 said, here's a 40 lot. What do you think about that? filled. See if they come back.
I don't think the seller is absorbing this. I think he wants to see 44, 40, 43, 44. It's trying. I mean, it's really, I think one more high because we're holding IB high. We're holding, what is it also value area high? This
Yeah.
blue line? Yeah. Okay, so that's two strong pivots there. There you go. See, I told you they were not absorbing it. I know, guys.
Worst one tick movement is not a failure of absorption, Chris. I mean, it's not looking great, right? Yeah, but they just dropped it back into the 630s. So are they holding it now? See, this is what I'm saying. Like, you
That
can't
felt
major in the minors.
Listen,
Chris is watching every single NQ tick, and it's cracking me up.
Was I wrong though?
What do you mean?
It made a new high. It didn't absorb it.
I mean that's okay. We were trading in the 30s that we were absorbing, and then we made a 6-point push into 36. It's not a failure necessarily. This is why I'm talking to you. And every tick, if you watch every tick in NQ, from an order flow perspective, you're wasting your time. Chris is like, did I stutter? Pimp?
To me, I thought absorption was sellers, buyers are trying, but sellers are chewing it up. But it didn't feel like that. Buyers, I mean,
you're right. We're still moving. I got stopped. We're still moving higher. So there was absorption there, but this is a case where buyers got through it, right? And violent. Like, this is not violent is a relative term. Violent on the day here. You know, we have two pretty significant pushes right up into those 44s. So like once you got through that level at 31, it was a very violent push right to 43. So it was like, you know, we're talking end of day, it's slow, et cetera, et cetera. Did Chris get a third hand to pat himself on the back with? I don't know, Chris. Did you get a third hand?
Look, I said if we were going to push through here, we would push up to 43, 44. Where did we go? Hello, order flow. 43,
this guy's the order flow king. You should change your name on Twitter to Order Flow Chris. Chris with the order flow.
Oh, you got butt slam.
I see sellers showing up.
Damn, now Chris is teaching Leo.
Oh, how the turntables.
Yeah, you can Venmo
how
me
the tables turned. You gotta say that. Oh my god.
We were forming a micro acceptance at IB high, value area high, PAX first rotation. You know, 3 out of 5. That's really good. Sellers were being buyers being absorbed. No. Buyers were doing the absorption. Sellers were not strong enough. We pushed. Where did I say we would go to? 43, 44. We're there. Order flow boxes. Come on.
Chris with
Bing
boxes.
bong.
Ding dong.
Bing bong.
Okay, let's see. I gotta move my order flow box up. Okay. What level's here now? Yeah, that was a good one.
Can we get rid of the crazy taxi voices?
Merritt's going to show up soon, guys, to teach you what I taught him.
He's in the background. He's going to teach, Merritt is going to teach you everything Chris taught him. So you're actually learning from Merritt what Chris knows.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What end of day strat is if we make a new high between 2 to 230. Central, then we're like 70% of the time we make another new high in the next half hour. So it didn't trigger today.
And we got algo time coming up.
I mean, 660, 680 is the next major zone.
Attention
I would
traders,
expect
it's algo time.
another rejection there. I mean, what such a lot of opportunities today for sure.
Well, damn, just got stopped out in profit there. Dunzo for me.
Great job. Great trading today, okay?
Thank you. Appreciate
You
that.
out traded us.
Wasn't my intention.
Yeah, I went for 0 for 1, you know, on one trade. So I'm a loser, baby. I suck at trading. I don't know what I'm doing.
Stick with me.
Stick with the
Stick
shit
with
talking
Chris.
on Twitter.
Listen, listen.
Yeah, let's hear this.
I didn't see a lot of sellers there that are getting absorbed. What'd you guys see? Let me see.
Thanks, chat. Appreciate it.
Oh, there was a lot of buying up there. Look at that. Look at that order profile. Wait, did I just say order profile?
Oh God. Now you sound like a noob.
I'm testing you guys.
Let's see who's paying attention, chat.
There's a lot of buying up there. Failed.
What's the indicator? It's the 9 EMA.
I mean, this so far action looks like it wants to go continue higher. It's hit 2R. 671.
Wow. Buyer's still very much present.
Yeah, 680s, 670, 680s again.
Yeah. Looks like my target's gonna hit after all. Cool.
Look at that.
Sheesh. NQ new high day incoming?
Little
Do
end
we
of day
get it?
spike. Be a pretty good
Bro.
reference if we get one.
Brother.
Bruh.
What a push.
Yeah. We're like, what, 10 points away from new highs here?
Not far.
Yeah, I got 690s as Pax's second rotation to the upside.
Yep.
That'd be cool to see. Now ES is really trying to play catch up here too into the close. Damn.
Zach, you're long crowd. Yeah, it just hit all-time highs. What a move from that low yesterday. Look at that, 20% jump. There it is. It's new highs.
That's crazy. All right, now do we drop on ES or does this continue into the last 5 minutes of the day?
A nice spike into the close would be a good reference for us.
Guys, place your bets now. Do we drop from here or do we pump into the last 5 minutes of the day on ES? Also, I didn't realize there was a poll going on, but thank you guys for voting for me.
Nobody voted for you, Salma. What are you talking
Please, I'm in the lead. Thank you very much.
Oh, what pool?
about? Well, then,
Bro, how is production getting love here?
they don't even have hats.
Bro, how do they have more votes than Leo and Chris combined? Oh my God.
What is so special about your hat? I don't get it.
It's red? That's and red looks good on me?
Pretty presumptuous. What do you say?
It's a good hat, if I might say so myself. It's also
Yes.
a 47, and those tend to fit well. You need the magnet upwards. No, Sleepy, I can't because I don't want to see this go up anymore. I'm gonna be hate watching this into the close. Thank you, Trader Mike. I appreciate that. Unlike Jay's comment right above yours.
All-time highs for a Nasdaq?
Craig, that is just so wrong. Bro, okay, here's 690 on NQ. There's that second rotation. It only took all day. Hey!
Yo,
Hello, Jim.
Jim.
I took
Jim,
my hat.
where's the hat?
I took it off in protest. I didn't make the poll. I didn't even make the poll.
In protest.
Fine. I'm not wearing it anymore.
All right.
Who's still in positions? Anybody?
Not me.
Nah. That stopped out.
All right. Kind of a tight range day. The E-mini S&P is 67%, or 2/3 of the 34-day average. Super tight. But tomorrow we have the main event with Mr. Warsh.
We're going back to all-time highs.
All-time highs?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
You're calling all-time highs tomorrow?
Oh, no, not tomorrow.
Yeah,
All right.
he said tomorrow new all-time highs. So if we don't hit new all-time highs tomorrow, Chris is gone.
The order flow did not say that.
Order flow doesn't exist, Chris. It's not a thing.
It's all Fugazi.
It's all okay. By the way, tomorrow will be a big day. Misha and Blake are kicking it off. Then it is Capital Preservation Friday with the one and only Pax. Christian's coming back to trade the open with XYZ, and you will be trading live during the Warsh can't say his name press conference. So
All right.
it'll be fun. And then Lumi and Stowe are going to take over. We're going to 1 o'clock tomorrow. So there's going to be a lot of movement, I think. It might be a fun day to trade tomorrow. So looking forward to that. And particularly looking forward to seeing you, Chris. Leo and Salma, I'm not going to see you tomorrow. So have a nice weekend.
You as well, Jim.
You as well, Jim.
Appreciate you for sure. Let's see where we close here. Let's just hang tight as the ES is squeaking up right now, trying to catch up. Treasury bonds also broke a couple ticks. Not much. Crude sneaking up on everybody. Fill that gas tank up, everybody. And gold is cranking. And the Bitcoin, 80,000. There we have
There
it.
we go. Got a little bit of a
Right.
spike into the close there.
Yeah. Well, job well done, you guys. Appreciate you as usual. Streaming on NinjaTrader Live. Let's give these three a round of applause, please. All right, all right. Well, appreciate you guys. I will see you tomorrow, Chris. But seriously, you two have a great weekend. Selma and Leo, we will talk to you next week for sure. But it's about that time. Special event. Nobody move a muscle because we have our next episode of Develop Your Edge right now. I love that intro music. We are with Merritt Black. Merritt, how are you?
Doing well. How are you, Cags?
I'm pretty good, man. You're looking good with the headset on and the cap. Man, where are you at? Are you at home right now?
No, I'm up at the office. My
Okay.
rarely used office.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember seeing the background before.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, well, thanks for doing this. We appreciate you spending the next hour with us. We're going to actually, Merritt's going to do all the heavy lifting today. I'm going to be kind of corralling questions. So if you're in the chat, feel free to type in some questions as we go. Merritt's going to be talking about volume profile, among other things, and showing his charts and doing his thing. If you have a question, type it in. I will try to moderate the questions as he goes. I kind of foresee how he does go. I kind of know what he's going to talk about. If I know he's coming up with something that you just asked, we're going to hang tight and see if he answers it. But we will get it in. So don't be shy. Merritt's great at talking about what he's doing, and one of a really, really good educator here. So we're going to learn a lot about volume profile, trade setups, and all that good stuff, man. So let's do it.
They're already complaining about the mustache. No mustache, you just can't keep them happy.
You could pull it off. I posted a picture on X when me and you were in Miami just about an hour ago, and you have the best beard mustache that I've seen in real life. I mean, it's a really awesome one. And so you need to,
I call it
come back.
homeless chic is really the look I was going for.
Yeah, you look great for sure. So the mustache stays, everybody. We like it. All right, so let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Using profiles to determine bias in trade locations. Love it. Love the volume profile. I've been a volume profile fan forever. I started with market profile under the
Yep.
tutelage of Dan Gramza, and then graduated to volume profile. So I am taking notes, man. I got my pencil out.
Sweet. Let's hop into it. We'll talk a little bit about market versus volume profile. It's certainly one of the questions I get asked most often. Is which one's better? What do you like? I think they both do a fantastic job. I think that they have a couple of unique strengths and weaknesses, and we'll get into a little bit of that as we continue to talk. I've got kind of 4 points that I'm gonna stick to and cover today. One, I want to give just a little bit of a primer. I assume that most people in the chat are at least familiar with the tools. It doesn't look, like hieroglyphics to them. but I'll just quickly bring everyone up to speed. And then I want to talk about having a market worldview. This is something I learned from Dr. Steenbarger during my time in New York. And he is really big on it's not just setups, it's not just candle patterns, it's not just these things. You need a market worldview, right? And we'll talk more about what that means and why it's important. And then let's get into the meat of it, which is really bias, trade location. Bias is a four-letter word for a lot of people. A lot of people hear the word bias and they hear the negative aspect. You're biased. Oh, we've all been there where it's come hell or high water, I'm bullish and nothing's going to change that, and I'll just fight a downtrend buying, trying to catch a dip all day long. That's not what we're talking about here. There's a huge prerequisite, if you will, to having a bias, and that is a point of invalidation. If you're going to have a bias, that bias has to be able to be proved wrong. And otherwise, you're biased. So there's a difference between having a bias and you being biased. And trade location. When you guys watch me trade on Tuesdays, I'm always talking about my edge comes from the edges. Where are good trade locations versus where we don't always trade from good trade location. We'd love to have it. Sometimes the good trade location happens when we're asleep, and we take what I call a continuation play, and we're kind of picking up whatever meat's left on the bones. And so what I'm going to give you guys today, after we just quickly go through a bit of a primer, it's going to be real charts, real examples, and my hope is that a little bit of alpha, a little bit of edge is delivered here today in terms of risk reward asymmetry. Finally having a way to see a market in a way where you're not just chasing setups. You're not just trying to do what worked yesterday, but you can actually see the market through a lens that is able to tell you when and where trade locations are good and when and where it's even appropriate or not to have a directional bias. So let's hop into it. Here's the thing. Balance is the only thing that exists. Everybody likes to talk about trends, but I'm going to blow some people's minds here. Trends are just a lack of balance. Trends are those short moments in time when the market is going from one area of balance, either reverting to another area of balance or finding a new area based on new information of balance. The trends is really oftentimes most of us are momentum based in terms of our profitability. Even if you're trend follower or mean reversion, we're kind of both camps are very momentum based. We want to get in with good timing. We want the market to pay us right away. That's momentum. That's what we're looking for. Markets spend more time balancing than they do trending. And identifying balance is what profiles were born to do. That's what they do. When I talk about profiles, guys, we're not going to get into day types. We're not going to get into different esoteric shapes or different minutia and different kind of touchy-feely kind of stuff. To me, we are looking for treating it like a distribution, like pretend we draw it on its side, right? Just theoretically here. And we have a distribution, right? That's really what a profile is. We're just turning it sideways and showing it like that. So we're really looking for where is the meat of things? That's what we're looking for. And so it doesn't take rocket science to figure that out. Oh, look, there it is. Here it is. There it is. There it is, right? That's what we're looking for. Sometimes we have a more complex profile. I'll change colors so we can see better. Sometimes we have what we call a dual distribution, right? And that's just two balance areas. That's all it is. It's just balance. So balance is what exists. And that is a thought that I want you to hold on to as we progress through this talk. So real quickly, these are volume profiles that we're looking at, what we're looking at here. And as you can see, it's just how much volume was traded at each price level. Okay, I'm obviously not drawing them granularly enough, but when we look at 7710 here in the S&P, how much volume was traded there on August 25th, right? This is a profile of 1 day's full Globex session. How much volume was traded there? Oh, this much. How much volume was traded at 76.90? Oh, this much, right? Because the profile is extending all the way out there.
Yeah, in Merritt, on an intraday chart, you literally could see these histogram bars grow as trades happen. They move, they're
Yep.
dynamic.
Yep, they are. I have a little bit to say about that. I think people get a little too excited at using the developing profile. And my recommendation is you almost never use the developing profile. I know that some people, especially much shorter term traders, they do like to look at how that volume is developing during the session. Everything I'm going to talk to you about here today is actually looking left. It's looking at where has balance existed. It's done, it's finished, we know it's there, it's not developing anymore. It's what we call prior, right? And so I'll get into a little bit more about that later. But volume profile versus market profile. Volume profile is just as I was walking through. It's how much volume was built at each of these prices. Market profile is a more simplistic view, but that doesn't mean it's overly negative. If we were to hide these volume profiles, just real quickly, this is well, we could change it to a 30-minute chart. So typically, so we'll just look at this session here, this same session. What you do, I think of it like a game of Tetris, where you know how there's pieces that are falling down, right? They're all falling down. Well, what happens is they stack up on top of each other. There's nothing underneath this section of this block right here. So it's going to go all the way to the bottom and it forms a block right there. Then this one forms right here. And then this one comes in and fills in a little bit of space and then starts to build. And then this one here starts to come in and it builds again on top of this as much as that, and then it drops and it builds the rest of it right there. That's how a market profile forms. It's how much time, except it's going this way. You got a couple different candles. This would end up forming a profile, you know, that's shaped like, you know, this. Oops, I lost my drawing tool. Right? Something like that, as these stack on top of each other where they overlap, and then you're left with the little tails above and below. So market profile is just how much time was spent at each y-axis price level. Volume profile is how much actual volume was traded at each price level. Real quick, pros and cons. Market profile, one of the things that profiling does is it simplifies the view of the market. It tells you at a glance, here's where the bulk of the trading was done and other areas where it was not. Market profile does a little bit better job of just quickly simplifying that and showing you where the main distributions were, because it's not as granular. So that's actually not a bad thing in some ways. It depends on the utility you're looking for. Volume profile, as we can look at, you see all the, like, we could look at this little, is that a node right there, that little bitty thing? Is this a prominent point of control that's sticking out right there? Oh, look, this little notch right there. Market profile doesn't show those. Market profile is going to be very simple. There's going to be a little thing there. There's going to be a little thing there, and there's not much else to it. So depending on your level of granularity, and I would argue maybe how short of a time frame trader you are, you might appreciate the granularity, or you might move towards the simplicity of market profile. It's not going to be a make or break deal, no matter what. We're talking about splitting hairs, really, for the most part. You can, the cool thing about profiling is that it's not just some intraday tool. It's not just some, you know, there, you can't put it in a box. We could look at the profile from last year, and you could take a look at how you want to apply that. And we'll talk about how to apply it as we progress here. We're just doing a bit of a primer. And you could be a yearly swing trader, and you could try to position yourself like we do intraday, maybe from the best trade location and let it run. You could do that for the whole year with a portfolio. It's not just suited for day traders. You can really apply it. And as many of you know, what I do is I use multiple time frames. I'll be aware of where we're trading relative to last month. I'll be aware of where we're trading relative to yesterday. And again, both of those are prior areas of balance. I'm not focused personally. I'm not focused on the developing current period profile. Is it magic? No, nothing is. Nothing is. Um, as traders, we have to deal with a tremendous amount of what let's just label randomness. At any moment, some huge firm somewhere can turn on a buy program and apply upward pressure to the market. Some other firm in Hong Kong might see the upward buying pressure from one market participant, a large firm, and they might say, hey, we're going to passively sell all this because we're trying to sell. News might come out while both of those things are happening. This is the market. No matter what your tools are, no matter how good profiling might be as a lens to view the auction process through, which we're going to talk about, anything can happen at any time. There's a tremendous amount of randomness. So we simply do the best we can. It's a good tool. There's nothing magic about it. Is it good? Yeah, it's really good. So Jim, if you see any questions on the primer or anything like that, please let me know. I'm going to move on to talking about auction market theory, which
So, but
is
Merritt, one thing I just did want to throw in is, anything could happen at any given moment, right? But the nice thing about both market profile and volume profile is it honestly tells you if that event or that news is worthy of the price change, because guess what? These big volume nodes, sometimes, a lot of times, you see price visited again after those events. Does that make sense?
absolutely, yeah, and that's going to be a theme that we talk about here in terms of you establish balance. What happens next when something new information essentially reaches the marketplace where the participants react to it, and what can we see and
Yeah.
learn from those patterns? So before we get there, it's important to understand what is actually going on in markets and why profiles are such a beautiful way to put a lens to it, to frame a market worldview as to what's happening. So one thing I like to do is talk about another auction process, which is one that we could all perhaps relate to, which is at a car lot, buying or selling a car. Um, we could pretend, and I'm sure Toyota is doing this, they look at time and sales. They look at the data for that market for Toyota Tacomas. They look at what timestamp a transaction occurred. They look at how many were purchased typically it's going to be a one lot Tacoma, not a lot of, but sometimes a big group comes in and buys a fleet of 100, right? They look at the price at which it occurred. Guess what, guys? That's the data points we have for markets that we think of as so different from an art auction or a Toyota Tacoma being sold on a lot. What happens is we know there's negotiation. Someone coming in looking to buy for as low as possible, and someone who has the inventory looking to sell for as high as possible. So over time, there are a lot of, I'm just going to draw this out to help us kind of visualize. You end up with something that looks like this. This is the volume of Toyota Tacomas being sold at what prices. Occasionally, you have a sucker that comes in and they buy sticker price. Occasionally, you run the best deals that you've ever offered, and some people get those really good deals. Great for buyers down here, not so great for sellers down here, right? Vice versa for the high end. But what you do have is trade being facilitated at a place where volume is being done. If the market opens for Toyota Tacomas and ain't nobody buying them, what does Toyota have to do? They have to produce that price. The market's job, no matter if it's the S&P or a Toyota Tacoma, is to facilitate trade. That's what a market does. So we're simply looking at the footprints, if you will, of what the market participants are telling us is being done. That's all this is. It's not some magic thing. It's a footprint left in the sand of what's being done in a market. And what we care about is where the main area of the balance of trade, the most of the trade is being done. Because all that really exists is balance. And trends are just periods of time where the market is looking. Let's say something happens where, that we find out that the engines were really, really poorly made in all the Toyota Tacomas. There's nothing that they can do. What's this market going to do, Chad? Is it going to break out higher? No, it's going to dump because Toyota knows that these things are not worth what they were. The market knows that these things are not worth they were. Yeah, maybe there's one more sucker who walks in and hasn't read the news. Okay. This is real market talk here, guys.
Yeah.
And what's it going to do? It's going to trend for a moment, and then it's going to find a new area of established balance. That's what it's going to do. Because, well, we know it takes $5,000 to fix this faulty engine. So essentially the price got discounted by 5K, and this is a new price at which it's going to be buyers are going to show up. The market goes lower to find buyers. And that's easy to see in a Tacoma example, and nobody thinks that way in markets except for auction market theory people. It's the truth, I promise you. This is not just hocus pocus stuff. We're talking markets here, and it doesn't matter the application. So that's the foundation here. And what we end up with is a what is, not what we think should happen, not what we want to have happen, but we arrive through this type of a market worldview, through an auction process and looking at its footprint through a profile. We end up with a what is. If we are bouncing around in, let's clear out our board here. If we are bouncing around in this area, that is a sideways rotational type market. And keep in mind, this profile existed that I'm drawing before this price action existed. It's a prior period, okay? We open up a new period and we start trading. We're trading inside the main balance area from yesterday, from last week, from last month, from last year, from last 10 minutes, okay? If you're real short term, doesn't matter. Nothing changes. What is rotational. If something happens to where all of a sudden, you hear Chris and I talk about this term on Tuesdays, acceptance. This little poke above is not acceptance right there. We have not accepted above, but we are poking above. The market will test extremes during a rotational environment, seeing if trade gets facilitated, seeing if there's enough suckers to buy these Toyota Tacomas higher. Or maybe they're worth more now. They found, instead of a faulty engine, they found gold bricks that somehow slipped into, inside the seat cushions. And now they're worth more. And all of a sudden the market starts to tell us, yep, they're worth more, they're worth more. Trade is being facilitated. Value gets built higher. Balance gets built higher. Okay. So there's one of two conditions. We are either rotational or we start to trend, which we call imbalance, away from the most recent. That's key. It's not just any old balance area. It's the most recent one for your time frame. That is when we go into an imbalance, a trend. So the what is only one of two conditions. You should know for the given time frame relative to the prior period, are we rotational or are we imbalanced or trending? And if you know those things, there's a lot that we can apply and use. Number one, if the market, the number one rule is to expect more of the same until proven otherwise. So if we're rotational, we expect more rotational behavior until proven otherwise. Remember, we're not trying to guess at what's supposed to happen next. Anybody who talks that way or says things with such certainties, this is what's going to happen in the market, you run away from those folks, right? So getting back to what is, we can now begin the real talk on bias and trade location.
And by the way, we have a lot of great questions, Merritt, but I see where you're going, and I know you're going to start talking about these, so I'm just going to keep them in my back pocket for a couple minutes.
All right, cool. You let me know when you think they're appropriate.
Okay.
So if we are balanced, and if we are trading what is, let's first talk about trade location. Trade location is really a simple way of saying a more fancy term, which is something that I talk about sometimes, risk reward asymmetry. If we're working off the premise that the market is telling us, by the way, grounded in a truth of auction market theory and what the profile is telling us that the market is doing. Anything can happen 5 seconds from now, but here's what is. If the market is telling us that we're bouncing around and we're rotational in this, where does risk reward show up? Well, down here, if what is, which is rotational behavior bounded in between this general area, not perfect to the tick, just general. Risk reward is, here's our risk and here's our reward. If that is what is going to continue. So good trade location for a long trade is going to come from the lower edges of your established balance areas that you are rotational inside of. That's a mouthful. I'll say it again. A good trade location for longs is going to come from the lower edge of a balance area that you've identified that the market is rotational inside of. This happens every day. It happens every week. It happens every month. This is something that, because of auction market theory and the way things operate, it happens. And so that's how you can kind of skew risk. Doesn't mean your trade's going to work, right? To me, every trade's a coin flip. I'm only right 42% of the time, kind of long-term average. But if you can skew risk reward in your favor, you can make that work. The opposite goes for the short side of trades, right? If you are interested in a short and we are trading up in this general upper extreme area during a rotational environment, you have a small amount of risk before the market changes conditions and tells you that, hey, we're in balance. The downside is wrong. Things have changed. And you have a large amount of room to the downside for your reward. If you're right, and if we remain rotational, and if we then go test the opposite side of the balance area that we're rotational in. This is how, and you can do this across multiple time frames. That's where it starts to get really, really powerful. And we'll get into an example of that here coming up, where we'll take a look at, on the left side of my screen here, I have last week's profile. Actually, that's this week, but if we scroll back, we'll see last week. Okay, last week's profile. And then this chart, we have these daily profiles. So we're going to take a look at a multi-time frame analysis where you start to stack these. I always think of good edge as incremental. You stack and layer just small little incremental edges, one on top of the other. That's how you put together a good trading system.
So Merritt, when you look at last week's profile, does it matter what the time frame of the bars?
Oh, that's a great question. The answer for the actual volume profile that produces on your screen for good software is no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It should be looking at kind of raw granular tick data, and it should be constructing those profiles from wherever you tell it the start time and the end time is. What bars you produce in the meantime is totally separate. We could hide the bars from this chart. We don't even need to see them, right?
Yeah, thanks.
So the other good trade location is when we are not rotational, when we're imbalanced. What happens when that breakout happens? And Jim, how long do you guys have me for here? I just want to make sure I time things.
We're scheduled to go till 5, so we got 32 minutes.
Perfect. Let's say, for example, that we have this same balance area, and instead of the rotational environments where you're fading the edges back towards the other side, right? What if now the market tells us, hey, we are going imbalanced. We're breaking out. Boom, right here. We can say, okay, we've broken out. We may not have a trade yet, but we know, you know what a really good trade location is? And the market does this all the time. It likes to retest and firm up this area that it broke down from, that it had been unable to break down but for so many trades. that is a good trade location. Now you have risk of the market going rotational again, pushing up back into the profile that we've left, and reward, as we know, trends can persist. You start to get that series of lower lows and lower highs, and you get more reward to the downside. We could talk about more advanced concepts of where that downside might go to. I'll just leave you with the tidbit that a lot of times the market likes to go look further back, and it will revert to what we call prior areas of established balance, older than this one that we're looking at right here. Right?
So this question from Zach actually is timed perfectly because it's the opposite scenario, which might be a little bit more tricky. But he asks, or she asks, I don't know if Zach's a he or she, what about at all-time highs when there's no bottom?
Yes, this is a great question. So this is one of the key, let's call it a weakness, deficiency of volume profile. If there's no prior references, if there's no prior areas of established balance, by definition, all-time highs, it doesn't matter what the time frame is. This is last year, this is last month. Okay. If we're here, there's nothing that's ever been before there. So there's no balance to look at. By definition, we're in an imbalanced up state. We're in an uptrend. We've clearly left last month and last year's balance areas. So you'd want to have an upward bias because we trade what is. If we're breaking out and we're hitting all-time highs, some people, look, it depends on the strategy and what you're looking to do. But the earlier you can get a better trade location, at the point where we left those areas and maybe retested it before we got to all-time highs, that's where remember we talked about trade location. That's where the trade location was, where the breakout and the retest happened. By the time you're at all-time highs and you're away from any prior area of established balance, we'd say profiling doesn't offer you much, but at the same time, profiling would kind of tap you on the shoulder and say, you missed the trade. There's not much to do here. There's no references here to lean on. Let's wait for something to change.
Right.
If you could get more granular once you're at all-time highs. You could say, all right, let's look at the daily profiles, and I'll continue to hold this position as long as daily value continues to migrate higher. As soon as it starts to go sideways or drops, you could exit a position, right? So there's a bunch of different ways to do it, and that's just a little extra. That's a great question, though.
Yeah.
So to wrap up trade location, my edge comes from the edges. If we are below, if we've broken down and all of a sudden we're here, that's a short opportunity, right? Against that edge, that's a good trade location. If that fails, now all of a sudden my bias shifts from imbalance down below the lower edge of the balance to rotational, at which point I'd be looking for a retest of here to traverse and get to the other side. Okay. And then that could persist for a long, long, long time. And then maybe the next thing that happens is this, boom, we break out to the upside. Now I have a bias that is bullish, and I'd be looking for things like retest to firm this up to get a good trade location to participate to all-time highs, right?
Yeah. So actually, on that note, MEA had a great question. Has a
Okay.
great question. Is how do you trade the current balance without being too late?
How do you trade the current balance?
I mean, do you
without being
wait to
too
get
late?
to the bottom of the value area or the top of the value area, or you know what I mean? When is it too late to participate in a balance, or could the balance last for just for a very, very long period of time?
Yeah, so there's a lot of variables there. So number one, just to be clear, everything I'm recommending and talking and describing about using is not the current, remember that part of the talk? It's not the current profile that's developing. It's one that has been cut off, that is finished. So yesterday, last month, last year, you could look at profiles that reset every 30 minutes. So once, a 30-minute profile is done, now we can use it because it's it was built from 8 to 8:30. Now it's 8:31. I can use the 8 to 8:31. So that's number one. I'm only looking at prior areas of balance. I'm not looking at any developing balance. What's too late in terms of good trade location and catching something? That is going to be strategy dependent, because one thing that we're not talking, this talk today, bias and trade location, is context. It's not execution. It's not entry timing. It's not where to place stops. It's not where your targets are. Although we can talk a little bit about that when it's rotational, because it's pretty clear if you're long from one side, you probably want to be coming out at the other side, because that's where your risk reward is done, right? You might have a higher time frame reason why you want to see if it can break and go, but I digress. So for you, let's look at an example here cleanly. If we get a bullish bias because we've broken into this balance area, it's rotational, we're getting a decent trade location. Maybe that happened while you were asleep and this market is here. It doesn't mean the trade's over. We're still looking for the other extreme to get tagged. And maybe if you're a pullback trader, you have a way of, some people like to use the 9 EMA. Some people like me like to use VWAP. There's different ways, some people like to buy when certain indicators or conditions are present. You can buy pullbacks in and the cool thing about this is, what is this, guys? This is a short-term trend within a context of balance, right? It's depending on how many time frames you look at, there could be trends and balance all existing at the same time. And that's part of the beauty and the complication of things. So short answer, I can't tell you what's too late. I can certainly say that if you're trading a rotational market and you find yourself getting long at the upper extreme or getting short at the lower extreme, it's too late, because you're out of risk reward entirely at that point. So typically what people do is they have a minimum risk reward for a trade. And as long as it meets those parameters and it meets the a good playbook trade or a good setup for you, then it's feasible. Does that help, Jim?
Yeah, it does, and it does. Alan's got a question though, kind of related, and Zach, I will get to that one. Hang tight. We'll get to since Merritt opened the door on VWAP, we'll get to that in a second. But Alan asks, for swings, would you focus more on the weekly volume profile, daily volume profile?
Go even higher, even higher for swings.
Yeah.
And different, even within, someone says they're a scalper. That's a broad range of what that might be, right? You scalping for one tick. For me, I'll hold a scalp for an hour. It's a different thing. Swing traders, same thing. Are you holding for a couple days or a couple months? So depending on that kind of hold time and the moves you're looking to capture, design a system around what you want to capture, and then use the appropriate profile for that. What's appropriate? I don't know if I know how to answer that. I mean, the bigger the profile, the longer the moves will take to unfold and complete. That's all I can tell you, right? So you could take a look at a daily bar chart with a yearly profile on it, and you could take a look at historically, what are some of those moves that I might like to capture? And are they maybe, I don't want to hold for 6 months. I'd rather hold for maybe 6 days. Well, then, yes, the monthly profile, weekly profile is going to offer kind of more reasonable trade locations and reasonable granularity for getting a hold of those.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you another question. Well, now that Nicholas asks, I think you kind of addressed this, but let me just ask it anyway. How does Merritt define acceptance outside of balance? Acceptance is a word that Christian likes to use a lot. Number of candles, time passed, volume.
Great question. So first of all, it doesn't matter if you're always reading acceptance. The question is, where is the acceptance picture changing? Where do you read something that accepts either into or outside of or above or below, right? It's all the same thing. There's a reference, an edge in this case of a volume profile, like right here, right? And the question is, are we accepted above or below? So it's an ongoing continuum of a question. So first and foremost. So let's say that we are clearly, here's the level I'm looking at. We're clearly below. We're just way below. There's two ways that I read acceptance. One is, do we go, and this is an or, it doesn't have to be an and, this is an or. One is, do we go far enough past the reference on the y-axis to where all of a sudden it's like, yep, we've moved far enough to where we have accepted now above this reference. And let's just make it a profile, okay? With a balance area high and kind of a balance area low. So at this point, we'd say, yep, it's moved high enough. The other one is what I call time-based, which is x-axis based. So we might be moving like this, and all of a sudden we might get here where we say, you know what, that's not accepted above in terms of y-axis. That's not enough. But all of a sudden the market does this. Puts in that little bull flag or whatnot, and it's holding outside the level for long enough. I don't have a specific bar count for you. I don't have a specific time. It's something that it's perhaps beyond the scope of this talk. But what we do with our teachings for the NADRO methodology, NADRO, the A is acceptance. We look at the R, which is called rhythm, and we look at kind of the general nature of the ebbs and flows. We get a sense of the general magnitude of those. And then we start to say, well, an average magnitude is this, or a median magnitude is this, and either on the x-axis or the y-axis, that condition has now been met. So we would say the acceptance picture has just shifted across whatever reference. So high enough or sideways enough beyond it is the short answer.
Awesome. Thank you. I hope I didn't slow your roll there.
No, I was just waiting if you had more questions you wanted to get to.
Well, I mean, there's some related questions. Armpit Enthusiast says, if you trade the edges, do you only look for mean reversion trades?
That's not true, right? So the market can either be when the market is rotational, staying inside, right? Then yes, all the ideal trades. And again, let's pretend that this is a 30-minute bar chart that I've just drawn. And let's pretend that we're taking what we might consider a mean reversion play from up here, which is from the upper edge of the distribution. We're trading what is, it's rotational. The risk reward is skewed to the downside. So we want to be short and we want to capture as good of a trade location as we can. That is for this time frame. Let's say this was yesterday, okay? One day. This profile that we're looking at. This was yesterday's profile. What if this is where the session opened, and this is VWAP, and this is where the overnight balance was way up here, and this broke down, and what might a lot of people call this right here if we just looked in at that? It's a downtrend. That's a sell-off day in the S&P where somebody is saying, yep, it's a downtrend. Well, that's true for that time frame. For that 3-minute chart, it's a downtrend. But for this 30-minute chart, relative to the prior day's profile, it's just mean reversion. It's just rotational behavior from one end of the prior period distribution to the other. So it depends on who you're asking for what these things are. So back to the main question. All these trades from the edges are mean reversion. This one, I would agree with you. It is. If we're buying, getting long right here, I would agree with you. It is. What about imbalance? Imbalance is the opposite. What about times where we get this trade, right? Long somewhere in here, or we get this trade, long somewhere here, a short somewhere there. Yeah. These are by definition trending plays, the opposite of mean reversion. We are trading from the location of prior balance, looking to profit with price expansion away from it. That is by definition a trending trade.
Yeah, and there's gonna, I mean, eventually price is going to find a new level, right? Whether
Correct.
it's up higher or lower, equity is
Yep.
usually up to the right, not always. And so eventually it's going to break out one way or another. And, maybe that strategy is not going to work that day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This stuff repeats and, happens all the time, and it's a beautiful thing.
So here's a great question about, hang on a sec, let me cut and paste this onto my notepad so I don't lose it because I'm not good at the scrolling thing. Um, Salt, I'm abbreviating your name to Salt. Are the edges of balance objectively defined, value or high low, or is there a discretionary element to define the edges?
Fantastic question. I'm really glad someone asked that. So here's the problem with value, guys.
Salt air swings. I got it.
When we have a profile like this, the value area is like 70% around the mean. Okay. So you find the most traded price and then you find the 70% of the distribution around it. And it typically looks something like this. Okay. That's the value area high, and this is the value area low. That works when you have a nice Gaussian, right? Nice, pretty little symmetrical, nice single distribution profile. What if you have this? What does the value area look like? I'll tell you. It's very subtle. It'll shift drastically depending on which one of these is bigger and stuff, but it ends up looking like this. Something like that. The value area on the left will make you money. The value area on the right will lead you to days and days of frustration. Why is that? Value area is only as good as the distribution you try to measure it
Yeah.
from. This is something that a lot of people miss in the profiling world. So what we do is we will either, if it's market profile, you can actually split them. You can say separate these, and all of a sudden it'll look from that, it'll look like this, whichever one happened first, and then whichever one happened second. And it'll give you two profiles, and you can get your nice value areas from them, and you can use those as your edge of the balance. That's one way of doing it. And from a volume profile perspective, the way to do it, and I'll show you right here on Ninja, is let's hide. Let me go to my intraday one. Let's hide these. These are just standard daily profiles. The way to do it, what is it? Control 3, I think. Let's test it out.
I can never remember the control numbers, so I don't even
See
try.
that? So that is a custom profile. So if you go up here and you have the order flow package, order flow volume profile, it's control 3. So let's say that there was a day that had two distributions. Okay, so just bear with me. Let's say that we saw, oh, you know what? Here was a decent distribution from here to here. You can see this the sideways behavior. I'm just finding an area that went sideways. And then we broke and we trended. And then guess what we did? We reverted. And then we actually spent quite a bit of time after reverting in balance again. So what you can do, instead of trying to look at one single profile, which we could make it do, right? You could look at two more granular profiles of two areas of balance. So value is only as good as the balance you're attaching it to, right? So that's very important. How do I like to do it with volume profile? I like to discretionarily look at the edges, and we're going to go through some examples of that. But I like to come through and, coming into today, I would go back at yesterday's profile and I would just kind of highlight it. And I would say, okay, the lower edge, nice little drop off there. The upper edge, this is a tough one, but you could kind of, because this is kind of what we call, you could either put it there or you could put it there. There's one of two ways you put it. This one is a little too close to the point of control, and there's a decent amount of volume that continues out after here. And again, this is the granularity of volume profile versus the simplicity of market profile. But the rule of thumb is looking for areas where the volume really starts to fall off without a major LVN in between. If there's a major LVN in between, you need to separate those areas. Today's profile, where would I put them? I would put it here and here. So going into tomorrow, 77.46 and 77.11 would be the edges of today's balance that I would look at. This one's a nice clean one there and there, right?
Awesome. Thank you, Merritt. I told Zach we would get the question in, so
Let's do it.
we have about 10 minutes left. We have plenty of time. And several people had some similar related questions, so I'm going to kind of just shuffle together. The basic question is volume weighted average price. How do you integrate volume weighted average price and their standard deviation bands when you're looking at trade location and you're looking at balance?
Yeah, it's a great question. So there's a couple different ways to calculate value. You can put a market profile up, you can take 70% of it. You could look at that as it develops throughout a session. You could look at it as it's a static prior measure of value. You can do the same with volume profile. VWAP and a plus and minus one standard deviation, right, from it does the same thing, but it's very smooth and very dynamic. So you have the volume weighted average price, you have the standard deviations above and below. I use that more of a tool that shows me developing value. Remember, this whole profile talk, I reiterated over and over. I only use prior value. Static, this level, that level, upper edge, lower edge. VWAP is where I get into execution. It's where I get into lower time frame work. It's where I get into looking at how is value developing on the session right here, right now, and where are short-term good trade locations within the landscape of a good contextual trade location and a good contextual directional bias that I might have from the what is of what's going on. Let's look real quick at last week. I wanted to highlight this. So if we take like a main distribution from last week, let's just do it like this. And we come in to this week. Look at what's happened this week. We opened up here in the meat of the last week's distribution. Ignore this profile, guys. This doesn't exist. This is this week's profile. We don't care about it. Okay, let's maximize the screen here. All I care about is this last week's profile and its upper and lower edge. See, this is nothing. This is just a couple little blips. Okay, I'm looking for the real distributions, right? Could we say there's an LVN right here? Sure, we can. You know what? And if we highlight it, this LVN, right? Well, guess what? There's a reaction to it, and here's a reaction to it today, right? So it's a thing. I like to take the big picture view when possible. It's a discretionary thing. We're looking at, is that a low enough LVN where we need to make this two distributions here? I like to keep it a little simpler when I can and just smooth out the noise. That's what I've done here. Hopefully that's helpful. So, I'm not sugarcoating things. I'm not cherry picking things. That's how I operate. The level that I ignored turned out to be a fantastic level this week. We don't care. There's plenty of levels. What happened this week? Let's narrate it. This week, we opened in the middle. In fact, I want to hide these now because it's no longer relevant. We've got the level that we care about. I don't want anybody focused on the profiles anymore. What happened this week? We opened in the middle of it. Oh crap. What? I need to see the days real quick. Where's the start of the week? Real quick. Right there. Okay. I'm on it. We open in the middle. We trade down. Not acceptance yet. Ooh, time acceptance. We start to hold below it. That would have been a bearish period. And then, boom, failure. Retest, retest, retest into the high today. Traverse to the upper edge of balance. What about on a daily? What happened is on a daily kind of period? You can see a lot of the same type information if we were to need some more data here. What if we were to use that tool again and we were to come back and say, when we started to trade down, we started to find some balance. Control 3. And we started to go sideways, 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 sideways until the gap up. We could find a nice distribution in which coming into today, we would have this edge, right, that we use. Upper edge, lower edge. Don't overthink it with all the little stuff in the middle. Great trade location today to get us involved here. And by the way, this couple day balance is that LVN area in question from the prior week that I didn't use because it's from more recent data. It's a little more granular. So that's magical to see how those come together. So we knew that the lower edge was now accepted into, and this was a bullish area yesterday. Today, we get the was it NVIDIA, whatever it was, with the gap up, and then the best trade location off the past couple days balance area give us the long directional bias. It gives us the ideal trade location. And I took this trade today. I can assure you, my algorithm took this trade today as well. So it's the real deal. We're looking at today. This is not some cherry-picked example from a couple of weeks ago where I went and found one that worked. This stuff repeats all the time, and it's a great market framework, market worldview to help you figure out where is good trade location, what is the directional bias that I might have based on trading, what is, and how can I do that. Getting into execution and access, that's a whole different deal. But just keep in mind, I'll shut up. This was a mean reversion trade across last week, and it was an imbalanced play relative to the past few days. At the same time, both doing their part.
You're not supposed to shut up. We have a few minutes left. I actually have a question. This is my question. So let's say the day ends. You've already mentioned a double distribution, right? Where there's two distributions in the same day or the same week or the same month, whatever time period you're looking for. So tomorrow morning when I wake up and if I see on a daily distribution either a small b distribution or a capital P distribution, does that necessarily tell me anything about where my bias should be or my thinking should be for the next day?
I think people latch onto them a little too much in terms of they start to project and anticipate what should be or what will be because a shape is supposed to tell you your bias rather than what is. So for example, B-shaped profile. It is true that better excess on the high and a lack of excess on the low is a bearish feature. Okay, why is that? What if we took all the data from all the Toyota Tacomas and we mapped it and it looked like no volume traded up here and there's a bunch of volume traded down at the low? What would that signify about that market? It would mean that more Tacomas could be sold a little bit lower. You can guarantee. They can be. Does it mean they will be for the next trade? No, it doesn't. So while that's a true thing, I always caution people against it because what if they see that B and they say, I'm bearish, and the market's doing this the next day, which by the way, it does plenty of times. You shouldn't be bearish just because that's a B shape. So don't let those shapes take you away from what is, would be my answer.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I've been a student of this for 40 years. On the Board of Trade, we'd have to sit on the side of the pit with a piece of paper and put A's, B's, and C's down to form the market profile because there was no computer, right? And then you'd show the traders what the profile looks like every 30 minutes. And the reason I say that is the presentation today was, in those 40 years, probably one of the best ones to really understand how to deal with the profile. So I really appreciate that, man.
That's kind words coming from you, Jim. I appreciate that.
Well, we got about a few seconds left, and I want to give everybody an opportunity to be able to find you. What's the best way for people to reach out to you and learn more and follow you?
Yeah, just at Merritt Black.
There you go. Easy peasy.
You can check out our firm, Apteros Trading, as well. ApterosTrading.com. We're a proprietary trading desk.
Quick elevator pitch on what Apteros is.
We are think of us more like a brick and mortar, real old school prop shop where the firm is genuinely interested in really taking risk and growing traders and big trading. We have the infrastructure and the tools and the things for traders and the coaching and the development. But we have dipped our toes into the world of you can pass an eval and join our firm and whatnot as well. So we're kind of a bit of a hybrid model, if you will.
Awesome. Well, very great stuff as usual. I think Cooper in the chat kind of summed it up perfectly, saying, "Thanks, Merritt. Good shit."
Thank
but
you,
we
Coop.
know Cooper. Me and Merritt
Yeah.
hung out with Cooper
Great
in
guy.
Miami not too long ago. So we appreciate everybody being here with us on NinjaTrader Live for Develop Your Edge. Merritt, thank you. Really appreciate you spending this extra time after the markets with us on NinjaTrader. Really, really appreciate you and love it when you're on the stream. Particularly you and Chris together are awesome. And we're going to wrap it up. It's been a long day. Tomorrow's going to be another big day. We have a lot of stuff cooking on NinjaTrader Live. Again, thanks for the subscriptions, the thumbs up, the great camaraderie in the chat and all that stuff. And Merritt, man, you're the man. You have a great weekend, man.
You too, Jim. Take care, brother.
All right.
See you, Chad.
Take care, everybody.